yes, and we started dating. And then the first few weeks I worked there, all of the cooks and they were like really nice to me. But then the last few weeks, they've been super mean to me. And it's because they found out that I was dating this girl and I didn't know that I like circumvented like 4 layers of dibs. So like I went and I started talking to her and I'm like, oh, we just hit it off. Things are going great. And now anytime I ask the cooks to make me food, they make me the shittiest food. Like I went back there yesterday and I'm like, hey, can you guys make me a chicken parmesan? And they're like, I don't know, can we? I'm like, all right, guys, I just want, like, I ordered food, I put it in, and they just made me like dry ass chicken. And like some of them like me, some of them think I'm cool, but the majority of them are not a fan. And they saw the episode that I put out where I talk about getting pegged, and now they just shoot daggers at me. And it's been a brutal working environment. Are any of you guys in relationships right now?
I am.
How's that one going?
Really good. We just celebrated our 4-year anniversary. Anniversary. Well, we met at a university, so I don't want that to become a word. Pretend I didn't say that. We have an anniversary. We met at college. We had like a co-ed floor, and so we met like in the middle room that was like co-ed, and it was super cute. And yeah, we're doing good.
Wow. Did you guys do anything for your 4-year?
No, because we're stuck inside. But like, no, we were gonna do. We wanted to do a picnic. The weather wasn't quite there. We're actually gonna see a psychic in like a couple weeks to do a reading because like he's into all that like tarot card like magical stuff, and I'm like down. So I'm like, I have one in my hometown. I've been driving by for like 10 years. Like, let's do it. I just looked it up online. They have a ton of crystals.
That's the thing that got you in.
I'm like, this down. Is legit. Yeah,
they have a ton of crystals. Let's do this.
What's your
exactly?
Show me. What are you gonna ask? Are you gonna ask about your relationship?
I literally have no idea. I just know they charge an arm and a leg. I'll give them my arm if like that gets like a better reading. Like I just want to know
how much money.
Yeah.
I don't know, like $50 maybe.
That's not that bad.
It's not. I guess
it's not an arm and a leg.
No.
Arms and legs are very
Money's
expensive.
Tight, right? No, I don't know. I have no idea what's gonna happen, but I'm excited. You know, maybe the crystals will get involved. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, you see those signs for like $15 psychic, and you're like, how is this business model holding up, you know? But I've been intrigued my whole life, too. I'd go see a psychic. Why not? Hear the story. I went on a date with a girl. This was years back. She was like, I went to a psychic. She said I was going to die at 40. So, okay.
Oh, no.
For the rest of her life, she just has to think about that. For the rest of her life, she's like, I'm going to die. I might die at 40.
I like that they put bold predictions out there like that. You're going to die at your 40s. So.
Is that legal to tell someone? Like, hey, just so you know, you're going to die at 40. And you're like, here's $50. Thank you.
I feel like it's illegal if you see someone's going to die at 40 and not tell them. Wouldn't you want to know?
I dated a girl who a doctor told her that. So that was a problem.
Does she have cancer?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. I got you. Real quick.
Like a whole bunch of times.
Or another terminal.
Yeah, like a whole host of problems.
Oh, well, here we are again. Another wonderful episode of the Avery Hutto Show. We are on episode 8. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Go around the circle.
I'm Donovan Strong O'Donnell.
Where can the people find you?
At Strong O'Donnell and tagged on this show. I'm
Ryder Olle. You can find me at Ryder Olle.
I'm Sam Concklin. You can find me everywhere as at Sam Concklin. That's CONCKLAN. Don't be uncool and misspell it like my elementary school moms, okay? Because they messed it up.
Hell yeah. Same here.
So if you've listened to the show, we've gone in a bunch of different directions, and one of them was me getting pegged, and I didn't like that. So we're gonna change up the direction of the show a little bit. We're gonna talk about things like existentialism, relationships, trauma, all that good stuff. So right off the bat, we're gonna start off with a big one. What's the biggest trauma you guys have experienced in your life? Sam, your eyes immediately went off into the distance.
Physical or emotional?
That's up to you.
Or can it be a combination?
I would love it if it was a combination.
I think the best story I have off the bat is this girl I had a crush on once. Like, it was in middle school, so she thought it would be, when girls still think it's funny, like hit dudes in the balls. So
it's always funny.
I was like giving her a necklace. And I had like a also had a necklace on that, but mine was different. It wasn't like they were connected, but like my necklace was like just something my grandfather had given me, and then I went out and like bought her one. And then when I went to give it to her, she like kneed me in the balls as a joke. And as I came down, she broke both the necklaces too. Oh. And then just like laughed at me for like 30 minutes and walked away. And that was probably the most traumatic thing that's ever happened. Or my dad almost dying. I don't know.
Close second, right? That didn't physically hurt as much.
No,
though.
that one didn't hurt. And to be honest, I was more okay with it.
How did your dad almost die?
He had cancer.
Oh, cancer. What kind?
You know, the usual.
They're like a good kind, a bad kind?
Super bad kind.
Oh, the worst?
Yeah, like he was like supposed to die. No, it was esophageal and third, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the only type of terminal prostate cancer.
Oh.
And then esophageal is like super deadly because your lymph nodes are like right here. And if it spreads to your lymph nodes, you're kind of screwed.
Did he do the whole chemo route, or was it like some experimental?
Oh, he had like experimental shit.
Nice.
My parents are like super rich.
Yeah, so. That's the way to do it. My grandpa also super rich, has leukemia, has had it for 20 years.
He's not messing around. My dad's like, dude, I'm not doing chemo. I'm gonna do some cool future shit. I'm not.
So it worked out for him then?
Yeah, surprisingly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He made it.
But still needing the necklace, probably.
Well, because that physically hurts more. And then forever on...
I don't know. My dad did keep kicking me in the balls the whole time.
It's just like, you need to feel what I feel.
He'd be like, I have cancer. Boom.
And you're like, whatever makes you feel better, Dad. Yeah. Now, whenever you give a gift to a girl, I'm sure part of you is thinking, like, I hope she doesn't knee me in the balls and then break the gift.
Yeah, but also, like, that's kind of my thing now.
Is getting kneed in the balls
and getting my gifts broken, so it's like this whole toss-up.
That's pretty nice. Yeah. What do you got, Sam?
I mean, it's kind of a downer, so I'll talk about
give it the downer. I mean, really? Give us the downer.
That's what I want to follow.
Yes. I worked at a Girl Scout camp for like 3 years. The first year was amazing. The second year was a hot mess because the people in charge decided it was a good idea to like cut, like they had to cut funds. So they're like, we're going to have the director drive between two camps. Also, one of them doesn't have a cook, and it was a hot mess. And we're like, okay. And then the third year, I was like, I'm going to not just be a counselor, I'm also going to be the arts and crafts director, and I'm going to do amazing, and I'm going to help people out. Didn't realize I was exhausted, and I was very depressed, and I was having some hurt myself thoughts of like, hey, what's the point? I hate this.
Yep.
And then at the end of the summer, we get our midsummer evals. And so I didn't have just one, but I had two bosses that summer who, like, I told them, like, I was struggling, and they were just like, oh, okay. And then they did shit for me. And I was like, thanks, guys. We get to the end of the summer, and I'm one of the last people they eval. I walk in, and I'm like, I know it's not going to be good. I know I've been dropping the ball. It's been a bad summer. And they're laughing their asses off, and I can't figure out at what. And I'm like, okay, like, maybe this isn't going to be so bad. So I go in, and I sit down, and they just give me the written eval, and I'm reading it, and they're like, oh, just go ahead. You can read it. I'm like, okay. They're like, yeah, read it first, then we'll talk. I'm like, okay. So I'm reading it, and they rated me numbers, and like when I got the eval in the past, like my first year, I got like 5 out of 5 on everything, but here I was getting like mostly 2s, maybe the occasional 3, and my self-esteem was already pretty low at that point, and I was like, oh, and I look at them, like I'm most of the way done with it. I'm like hoping it gets better. I'm like, it gets better, right? Like this is not gonna be, and they're just like just keep reading, and they're just both like laughing. And I get down to the bottom and I read, and I'm just like, my face is frozen and a hot tears just slowly going down my face, and I'm just like, it didn't get better, guys. It did not.
Why were they laughing?
I don't know.
You still don't know to this day? They didn't tell you?
No, they were, oh God, it was horrible. They were horrible. And like, I'm like, this is pretty traumatic. This was really bad. And I took that thing home, and I was just like, I was feeling so defeated, and I showed it to my mom, and I'm like, yeah, this is what happened. She actually like stood up for me, and it felt really nice. And I'm like, Mom.
How old were you?
Thank you. I was 20, I think.
Okay.
So I was like it was before my whole like reinvent myself in college thing. It was like right before that. So
Previous
I was like,
Sam. Did you have regular colored hair then?
I did. Well,
Yeah.
actually, no. That summer was the beginning. My hair was longer, and we had I'm like, okay, we have a plan, right, for my hair. We're gonna start with the bottom inch. We're gonna bleach it and color it. We're gonna slowly go closer and closer to the scalp until we went full on Joker green hair. It was insane. It was amazing. And we actually they helped us do it at camp. We had someone there who was like, you don't need to go to a salon. We could just do it here in the sink.
It's always a great way
That's
to get
fine.
your hair dyed.
Yeah, when somebody's
Especially with really vibrant colors, it's always good to just do it in a sink in your house.
Yeah, it wasn't
It
the
always
house.
comes out the best.
It was in the communal log cabin that we have breakfast at with the kids, but it was before the kids got there. We're like, this is fine, we'll just run to Walmart and then do it in the woods. This will be great.
Anybody who is excited to dye hair is bad at it. You want somebody who doesn't want to do it. You want somebody who it's a favor.
That's really good. Yeah.
She was dancing while putting it on.
Exactly.
Honestly, anyone that's really excited to do almost anything.
Yeah, you're like, please
is
don't.
probably
Yeah.
bad at it.
It's somebody who's like, this is a chore for me, because then you know they've done it a ton and they're bored of it. But if they're excited, they're like, this is fun, then you know it's new to them. And then you're like,
prostitution.
don't. Yeah. you
Yeah,
want to
let's do it.
bore
You get in that first week.
You
Yeah,
want bored and where they're like, I've done this a million times. Yeah. Just
You can kiss me on the lips. $5 more.
yeah.
All right, before we jump to that, have any of you guys ever bought a prostitute before?
No.
No, same, yeah.
You can
I
buy
visited
one?
Amsterdam.
I mean, you can buy them, not to bring it down anymore.
Just permanently, they just live in your house
Yes.
now.
Yes. Well, they don't.
I visited Amsterdam.
Depends what you consider living.
Mail order bride? Is that how that works?
Did you
No,
go to
it's
the
called chains.
the red light
Chains
district?
in a basement.
Did you go full on sexual
50
intercourse?
euros, bro.
Full on
50
sexual
euros
intercourse,
with
or
a
you just
hot check. Poor hot check girl. All it took. No tip.
Are you supposed to tip?
I don't
Yes,
know.
you're supposed to tip.
No, you're not, bro.
Is it
Yeah, you-
20%?
It's Europe. It's
Europe, yeah, they
I'm not
don't
tipping
tip.
the bartenders.
Maybe that's why they don't tip, because they give all their tip money
Dude,
to the
well, I
prostitutes.
was told it was 200 euros. So the fact that it was only 50, I felt so complimented. And a lot of guys, non-American dudes, were paying 200. Just saying.
I went to Amsterdam too, and it was so strange to walk along that corridor, because if you guys haven't been there, you just walk a long hallway, and on the side there are just these open windows with girls just posing and pointing at you and being like, you come here, you come here.
Yeah.
And it's just, you just walk down and
Very
everything's
bizarre.
literally red lights. They have red lights everywhere, and then they just point at you. So did you shop first?
Oh, 100%. I think every guy who goes through does it the same way. Yeah. And first off, being a 20-something guy traveling solo through Amsterdam, you're crazy not to partake.
Yeah.
It's
a
my whole
tourist
family
attraction.
better pick it. Oh, unarguably. It's like
Let's
old,
just really
it's elderly
objectify
couples.
these women.
It really is, though. It's creepy young guys, creepy foreign guys, and old couples walking around, and so.
Oh, old couples. Yeah, keeping it spicy.
Just
there you
watching.
go.
They're the window shoppers. They're the biggest window shoppers.
Yeah,
of
that
them
kind
all.
of makes
They're
sense.
there to see everyone, and so that's who you got to dodge when you go in, because you don't want to be spotted by an elderly couple. But
Why? Because they're gonna get off to you later.
you
or
just
something?
don't want to be. It's so shameful. You're walking out of there at 2 p.m. It's dark as hell.
my
It's super
God.
sunny.
Are
But yeah,
So you got a prostitute during the day?
yeah, I had a cutoff. If I don't get it by 4 p.m., I'm not gonna get it. I was I
That's
went,
me with coffee.
You had to do it in the daylight.
It was
Why?
was a big tourist checklist for me, and I was only in Amsterdam for 4 days.
Oh my
I
God.
was like, was it part of the pricing points? They were like, okay, before
Okay, prices.
That's the deal.
No, it
they
was
have matinee performance, matinee
but
prices.
50 euros. A lap dance at Admiral costs $85, so it's the same price. It's basically the same price, and you get a lot
I've never
more.
gotten a lap dance either, actually.
Don't get them; they're not
I didn't
worth
know
it.
$85
Yeah, it's
for
too
a lap
pricey.
dance.
Don't
I thought
go-
it was $20.
I'm in the wrong line of business, guys. That sounds
Admiral's
like
super
super
high.
money.
That's a very expensive comparatively. And
What,
I've only
that-
been to strip clubs a couple of times, and only went to Amsterdam once. But
So how was the experience? Was it
it was comical.
really?
It's very transactional.
Oh wait, then you can't talk about it.
No, you're right. I can't.
I was gonna say I think my mom's been to Amsterdam. I've got some questions now, man.
Oh, a lot more.
She went-
A lot of people
She
go
was
just to do
definitely-
drugs, and it's that's where it's kind of corny. It's a lot of middle America, and it's really mostly British. It's like a British Vegas, where it's British vacationers.
Never
And,
thought I'd hear those two words together.
That's cool.
And middle, whatever their version, up north country British, where it's they're there for like bachelor parties and their weddings and whatever their kind of parties are, and they're there to like smoke weed and do the
Northern British,
whatever the British. Well, that's like their Southern, but
same with France.
Exactly. It's like reversed.
But
the poor.
They were like
exactly.
The country
mushrooms
folk.
they have there.
They
have
talk
the
a little
truffles.
funny.
They're there to do like the truffles and the weed, and then it's like younger people for
the truffles.
the
Did you
red
do the
light.
truffles?
No, because I did the red light district, and I was too busy with my time. Like I was on, I was out there
Prostitutes,
doing open
you were
mics.
prostitutes.
You're just like,
I
I was
didn't-
busy. I'm like, you were busy. Like, were there other prostitutes? Yeah,
No, I
like
was doing,
scheduled
I
later in
was
the
doing
day.
comedy out there, and like that really was the main impetus of the trip. But I was like Amsterdam, okay, 4th on my list. Number 1, comedy. Number 2, the weed. Number 3, Anne Frank. Number 4, prostitute.
That's
I'm
such a
happy Anne Frank
fascinating
came in before
lineup.
I
prostitute.
lied. I just lied to impress you guys.
I was impressed. I was like, good for you. I learned the Anne Frank house was even in Amsterdam. I didn't even know from Amsterdam until I heard a joke about it on a comedy show. Somebody was making fun of somebody for not going to the Anne Frank house in Amsterdam, and I was like, Anne Frank was from Amsterdam? Like, what?
I didn't go to
Amsterdam.
my list was mushrooms,
Exactly.
Heineken Brewery, and then that's all I could do.
Okay, no, it's
The Heineken Brewery is set up for people on mushrooms too. So it's a really long. I took mushrooms. You went there. You stand in a line that's way too long, and they have an experience where you become the bottle. So it's like a roller coaster ride, and there are bubbles flying at you, and like they put different scents into the air. I almost lost my fucking mind.
Guys, Heineken is people.
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
I think I'm only going to buy Heineken now. It's their way of like brainwashing people, because all that research. Yeah, throwing it to the research. Nice. There's something about like when they were doing, that was one of the things when they were talking about, I got to formulate the research first.
Okie dokie.
When they were talking about like brainwashing initially, that was part of it, was that you would drug people. And then you would
MK
like
Ultra? Is that what you're talking
yeah,
about?
like that kind of like. But the real stuff was like, yeah, they give these people a bunch of drugs and then they just throw them like into crazy shit and just like try and brainwash them that way, like while they're all drugged up.
Dose
Because
them
you
with
can't do
acid.
it. Yeah.
Psychedelics induce neuroplasticity, so they pretty much open up the neurons in your brain so that you can
Right.
reform connections. So if you do mushrooms, whatever activity you do on mushrooms, you learn it at a much faster rate. So if you're like doing things like mushrooms and then you're just fucking around and like smoking weed and doing nothing, like it's kind of pointless. But if you do mushrooms, and right now they're showing with therapy, like if you,
I heard it. Yeah, I heard about that.
so you can rewire your brain because you go through the same traumatic experience, and instead of going like down the panic pathway, you go down like this loving, accepting pathway, and then it sticks because it like opens it up and makes everything malleable for a few hours, and then it like goes back and becomes concrete again.
Oh, great way to make
Yeah.
super soldiers. That's what I'm talking about. That's the research I want to find. Like, I wonder if they've dropped. I know they like release stuff. You know, like out of the whatever it's called, where like they can't let us know because we're citizens and we'll just fucking burn down our country if we know what they're actually doing. And so I think they like recently released all the like acid research they did, right?
Yeah,
That's cool.
that's what. There's a lot of the.
I know they did the UFO stuff, obviously, but like
The Oklahoma City bomber was a member of MK, or he was a participant in MK Ultra, and there are a lot of people who have committed these horrible acts who, if you look into their past, were part of these experiments where they gave people acid and then brainwashed them.
yeah, because they were trying to see if they could make super soldiers, so they were like making them probably hyper violent while on acid, like these nice, fun-loving people.
Yep.
And they were like, if we can make this hippie want to murder people, we could probably make a soldier who's already down, like really murder people.
Have you guys done psychedelics?
Of course. Look at his shirt.
Yeah.
I'm,
Look at his, look at his shirt.
Did you have good experiences? Like, was it a good time?
I've had good, I've had bad, but I like it. I'm glad.
Tell me about the bad.
Tell me about
I know about the good. You're like, I felt at peace, and
lot
I
of-
want to know about the bad.
I do think a lot of it is that if you, especially with shrooms, if you take too much, that it's like too intense. It's more the intensity that you're experiencing, and that if you don't have enough water, that could just be a
Yeah,
big
that'll
problem.
be-
Running out
That's-
of water, yes.
That's
And
a
if you're
huge
with
one.
like company that's like lame, that would really, that all compounds it. So one time it was just like, I didn't have water and I was kind of just freaking out. and kind of made a whole scene.
Wait, what was the scene?
He shit himself and cried. It was the scene.
No, I did. No. It wasn't that at all. This was literally, I think, like within a week of graduating college, and I was in Brooklyn, and we used to trip in Prospect Park, which is like their big park, and I basically ran around. I was like imagining that this was the African bush, which cultural appropriation, not cool.
Yeah, in Brooklyn.
But I was running around this park. I was like, I'm in the African bush. I got to run around and I'll come out a man because it's like graduation or whatever. And
that's a good experience.
But what's insane is like I literally, if you map it out, ran 4 to 5 miles, which is like not something I could do at all. And then I needed water, and then I went up to a cop and asked him where a water fountain was, and then it was like right next to him, so like I should not have asked.
Was he cool with it though?
He was cool with it, and then I could tell the water fountain wasn't going to work, and then it didn't work, and that's when the bad trip happened. So when I went back to the cop, now I'm in a bad trip, and I'm like, hey, that water fountain didn't work. Where's the water fountain that works? And he's like, there's one 1,000 feet that way, and maybe 500 feet. There's like a bend in the curve, so you can't actually see past it. So you just have to trust that there's a water fountain there. So I'm walking, and I'm like 200 feet from the curve, 300 feet, but I'm at this puddle, which is definitely water. And then there's like, 200 feet, and then however long to the water fountain. And there's all these runners, it's joggers. It's like a very busy path. It's like the main path. And they all have water bottles. I'm like, hey, does anyone have water? And I'm like dressed more obnoxious than this. Like clearly I'm a
pupils like probably huge.
In the like fur hat. with the hand things and like
the glove lights. And I'm like yelling at people, do you have water? And then like this mom and daughter, they all ignore me. So I drink from the puddle. And,
That's good.
This mom and daughter are like, there's a water fountain right there, pointing right around the curve, right where the same place the cop pointed.
It was the cop just like
the
200
cop was still
feet
away,
away.
They 100%. And then I closed it out. But yeah, basically
whoa, you good, Dad?
That's pretty cool.
Closed it out, got my water, threw out all the paraphernalia I had on me, and this other cop pulled up, like totally coincidentally. This is like just nothing to do with anything. And I go up to the cop and I'm like, "Are you here because of me?" Did someone call on me? And they're like, "Who the hell are you?" And
no,
I'm
we're
like,
here for a murder.
And I'm like, I had an incident recently, and I thought maybe the cops were calling on me. They're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm waiting for some friends." And they're like, "All right."
They probably just thought you were a crazy person.
They didn't give a shit at all. I was like
you're in New York,
drugged out college kid.
Yeah.
Like, it's exactly what I was. They knew.
Yeah.
But they didn't care.
They have real stuff to deal with, man.
Yeah. What about you guys? Any crazy psychedelic experiences?
No.
Have you ever done them at all?
No, I almost did weed most of
Oh,
college.
you count weed as a psychedelic?
No, I know. No. In my head, it's like alcohol and then weed and then psychedelics. So
Okay.
it's like there's like a
You're on your way.
It's more like alcohol, weed. Well,
psychedelics are in a different world.
Yeah,
because I also know
psychedelics-
people who like have lost their mind. on
Yeah, I
psychedelics.
definitely know people that
several
are like
people.
fried. That was gonna be
Yeah.
my bad story. Was just like the people I know who are just like melted.
I
like,
almost
and are
fried
barely
myself.
people. Yeah.
I went and did ayahuasca and San Pedro in Costa Rica, and I had such a good experience that I almost fucking lost my mind. I like went. Do you guys know who Kyle Cease is? He's like a former comedian turned motivational speaker, and I liked his shit, and I was like, I used to watch his videos, and I'm like, oh, this guy's cool.
Yeah,
He's all
pull him
about
up.
like letting go and being in the moment. So I like subscribed to his newsletter, and I was in college my senior year. And I was like, same thing, depressed place, didn't really like going to school. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Hey, I like this guy still. He's a good guy.
Oh my God.
It's a little cringy, some of it, but he has good
I actually
messages.
remember his stand-up from like when they used to do the Comedy Central Presents. He had like a 30-minute in like the early 2000s, which is like everyone's
But that's so cool.
what
I
like
would
got
want
him
that.
into it.
He
Comedy.
was
That's why he
Comedy
gets to
Central's,
do this now.
Yeah, comedian of the year. So I'm subscribed to his newsletter. I'm in college. I'm depressed. I got a little bit. I dropped out of some classes, so they refunded me the money. So all of a sudden, I just got refunded money. I had this money in my account. He's like, "Hey, there are some spots left on this ayahuasca trip. It's starting in 2 weeks.
Was he there?
Yes. So,
money's
so
worth.
I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna just take a week off school. I'm gonna go to Costa Rica and do ayahuasca. I fly down to Costa Rica. I take ayahuasca, like the vine of death. That you have these crazy psychedelic experiences. I see the Buddhist wheel of samsara. I'm having these crazy psychedelic visions.
Did
where
you
I'm
did you do the whole throwing up and shitting yourself
fucking
thing?
throwing up, shitting yourself. But,
yeah.
And then
there's like people there with like buckets, like, hey, we gotta help this.
And this was me in my prime douchiness, like my prime, like fucking enlightened, like Buddhism. So I'm talking all this shit. I'm the youngest guy there. Every single other person are like, they're older and they're super into this scene. So they're like, oh my gosh, you're so wise. Like you're like this. You're gonna be a superstar.
Oh,
you're
like
fantastic.
Totally just adding to
and
it.
And I'm like, I'm a fucking superstar actually because I'm doing
That's how cult
ayahuasca.
leaders get made. That's how cult
I
leaders
was
get
so
made.
close. And then I do it one night and it's great. I do it another night. It's fantastic. And then we take San Pedro, which is a different drug than ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is like this purging, rough experience. San Pedro is like MDMA times 1,000. So I am like, and I take a double dose. So I take one dose and like
Because you're their new leader.
essentially, because I'm like, I can handle anything at this point. I have all these people reconfirming like that I'm a fucking superstar. I already knew I was a superstar. Now everyone's telling me that I am. So I take a double dose and I like go into a full manic episode where I don't realize that I'm manic, but I start to think that I can everything in my life is going to work out. There's going to be no problems. I see how everything's going to be perfect and great. I'm going to drop out of school. I'm going to go live in the woods for a while. And then I'm going to write books and I'm going to talk on stage and I'm going to be a fucking superstar just like these people are telling me. So I leave Costa Rica with everybody patting me on the back. I get back to school. I'm talking to my friends and I'm like, I'm dropping out of school. Here's what I'm going to do. You guys are superstars too. We can do anything. And everybody's looking at me like, and I'm like, they don't believe in me. Fuck these people. Like, nobody believes in me.
Yeah.
So then I drop out of school on a whim. I'm in my senior year. I only have 2 semesters. The 1 semester left to finish. And I'm like, I don't need a fucking degree. I don't need anything. I buy a dog. Because I'm like, in my visions, I'm like, I need to buy a dog. Like
what kind of dog?
An Australian Shepherd. Beautiful dog.
Best dogs, but the worst dog to have because
Do you
they'll
still
rip
have
your
the
shit
dog?
up.
Where's the dog?
The dog is
dead.
my
dead.
my brother. It takes care of
He
the
was
dog.
fucking
now.
Story's
on,
gotta be
he
like
was
4
on
years
drugs
old.
the whole time. He's dead.
This story is
That
exactly.
dog
is
died.
young. It should be
Yeah.
young.
The dog is exactly this story is exactly 4 years old right now because it was I was in the woods when Trump got elected. I remember that very clearly.
I was in the woods
when the
That's
world
a good
changed.
place to be
I
when
was in
that
the woods.
happened.
came
So-
out of the woods.
No, exactly. I came. I'll continue. Okay. So my brother has the dog now because I'm like I can't take care of this dog. He has a job and like a
And
salary.
those dogs are crazy, dude. I had a friend who had an Australian Shepherd. Can you look up Australian Shepherds? Go into the research. They're beautiful dogs, but they're like fucking ape shit.
Okay.
And one of my friends destroyed his door, dude. It jumped through his door.
This dog is not like that. This is the best dog I've ever
that's
had
a
in my
cute
whole
dog.
life.
word.
Kindness
They're
doesn't need to be on a leash.
unbelievably cute.
That's a
dude.
cute-ass
That's
dog.
a cute
They're
dog.
unbelievable, you guys. They're
So
the best.
I go to the woods.
2 of them upstairs right now.
Whoa.
Best dog.
Stop.
He's your brother?
I stole
I have
his
some
dog.
news for you.
Stole his dog.
I rent a cabin in the woods. Middle of northern Michigan.
Oh, with the money from dropping out of school?
Exactly. And at this point, I'm like,
Not a bad plan so
I
far.
become extremely superstitious, where I'd make every single decision based on feeling and 0 decisions based on logic because I'm in a manic state. So I'm like, this feels right, and everybody's like, that's stupid. And I'm like, you gotta trust your intuition. You gotta like trust your gut. I'm all about that. At this stage now, I'm like, never trust your gut. So I go and I live in the woods, and like I start writing my book. And then I start to fucking break down because none of these things in my head that I thought were going to happen start happening. And then I start running out of money. And then I can't write anything and I can't think. And I start to get super anxious. And then I just go on like a down downhill spiral where I just become completely confused about life. Trump gets elected. I go to a local coffee shop. The local news interviews me they're like, so Trump got elected. What do you think? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. This is crazy.
Wait, do you have that interview?
If Google Avery, Hutto, Petoskey, or no, Avery, Hutto, Traverse City.
All these crazy words at you.
Yeah.
Petoskey.
Avery, Hutto, Traverse City. And it might come up. Let's see. Just scroll down. No,
not important enough.
Aver Hutto.
The local Traverse City
This
paper.
story's starting to sound like bullshit. Yeah. I'm starting not to believe any of this story.
The Record Eagle. I think that's it. That sounds like it. So Record Eagle, Avery Hutto. Maybe if you Google
it's
that.
all missing Avery Hutto. Everything is missing Avery.
Oh, well, no, he typed in Aver.
Yeah,
Oh, that's me!
No way!
I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I was like, there's gonna be preposterous change. I'm like, I'm kind of at this
were
point.
dead on. I mean, it was preposterous how much change happened.
I was manic, so I'm like, I'm kind of excited.
Preposterous change too.
Preposterous.
Brew Coffee House in the cafe afternoon following Trump's victory. He said he believed a Hillary Clinton presidency would have kept the status quo. He's excited to see what a Trump presidency will bring.
No, read the next sentence.
It's not so much that I was supportive of him, but I think that with him will come preposterous change.
Preposterous. I like when people use a word like almost right.
Preposterous change.
Do you mean monumental?
No, it was preposterous.
It was preposterous. I will agree.
A preposterous amount of. I don't know how to properly use preposterous. I like it.
It's an
that
adjective.
usage.
It works,
right?
Yeah. So then I'm interviewed by the
change.
news, and then I move in with my grandparents, and I have to like restart my life because I'm like, oh no, I just dropped out of college. I just blew like 10 grand.
Did you go back and get your degree?
No, I still don't have a degree.
Oh,
Hold on,
Solid.
we skipped an entire quote here.
Yeah,
so if it's his actions don't provide, then we can start getting angry. But we still have to give him a chance.
Oh, look at you, Avery.
Hey,
Cancel.
Dave Chappelle said the same fucking thing.
The next guy, horrific and ironic.
it's all right.
He
with
knew where
that
he'd be
guy.
in history.
It's all right. I jerked Trump off, so I can't blame you.
Yes.
I'm totally.
I just
get
wanted
it.
to
We all
see
do
what would
things.
happen, and it was crazy.
We all do things when we're young, man.
Exactly. I was also coming down off a manic
that's
episode.
I'm in the
That's great that story ends with a news article. That's like the best way for it's like you're like, yeah, I was falling apart, and here's this news article of me when I was falling apart.
Yep. That's proof that this shit happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's psychedelics. That's why I've taken, like, I don't think I'm going to do any more psychedelics. I think I'm done.
You probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I'm so happy I've come back to normal. And now I'm
that's
like, I'm
good.
still a little crazy, but
Well,
now
I think that's what normally happens with those like intense psychedelic experiences that people have where like life alters, shatters them. It's like, I don't think you realize like the effects of the drug stay with you.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. It
So it's like
100%
you're
changes it.
sitting there and you're like, oh, all this is gonna work out for me, and then as soon as you started like actually sobering up, you were like, I'm fucked.
Yeah, I'm out of my fucking mind.
Yeah. That's why like I've had a bunch of friends come back from like acid will do that, but acid doesn't last nearly as long. So it's easier to like get them out of it because you'll just be like, hey man, yeah, I totally believe you. Give it 2 days.
Yeah.
Let's wait a day, bro. Like hydrate up. Get some electrolytes in you, and then let's see if you really think it's a good idea to do a modern art piece of you just being butt naked in our class. Like, let's see if there's some other plan.
Yeah, that was wild. It was an emotional time, but now we're past it. Okay, let's keep. What do you guys think about? Do you guys think that there's a purpose to being alive, or do you think it's just kind of fun and games? Like we're just here. It's a mystery.
I don't think it's fun and games, but I also don't think there's a purpose.
Agree. Yeah. There we go. I think we just happen to be here, and the fact that we assign meaning to it is just to make ourselves feel better.
Yeah.
Like we've always, as humans, had such great hubris of like, we're special. We're not animals. That's literally everything else. We look like the gods. I'm like, guys, you made the gods look like you. You got this the other way around. Like,
But what if
But
simulate?
also, I think God looks like me.
Oh yeah, I am God.
Spitting image.
But also, he's definitely a white dude. Creator of all is definitely a white guy. In a vest.
I love how narcissistic the people who are like, we're all one, I am God are. Like, that's such a weird, like, a lot of hippies are like, everybody is one consciousness and we are all God. And that's the most narcissistic shit in the world. But they, like, ascribe it to be like, no, we're all equal. But it's like, no, you think you're God. It's like, you're not God.
Yeah.
I'm the exception, but yes, I agree. I am God, but yes, everyone else is wrong about that.
Everyone else is wrong.
But I am right.
But I am actually God.
No, but absolutely, yeah. I mean, we're just,
we're just floating.
I mean, I think just because there's not, yeah, exactly. Like I'm very like scientific and like the way we got here is kind of a train wreck. Like, it's amazing how many things had to happen for humans to be alive on this planet the way we are now. There's zillions of ways it could have gone, right? You guys probably seen some sci-fi, step on a butterfly, like what's going to happen. But I don't think that means that we shouldn't have morals. I don't think that means that we shouldn't find meaning. I think it's up to all of us to like make the most of our life, figure out how to make ourselves happy and also how to make others happy, how to just kind of be. And I think it's kind of sweet and nice that it's like open-ended like that it's up to us to figure out what the point of life is.
Yeah.
What if simulation theory is real, though, and we're currently living in a simulation?
I've seen that Doctor Who episode.
Who gives a shit?
But here's the deal. And what if in the simulation there is meaning, like in a video game there's meaning, and we are on a quest? And maybe in ultimate reality there's no meaning, but because in ultimate reality there's no meaning, we're in like a hero's journey type game.
Oh, that's a good game.
Yeah, it's a fun game. It kind of feels like I'm playing a game of life, and that I'm because I feel like I'm learning things all of the time, and I think that the world is like cause and effect, where I'm like, oh, these causes have these effects, and these causes have these effects, and it like life feels like math to me all the time. I see life as math.
Yeah, I do that too, where you're just kind of like, well, like if I don't eat a donut for breakfast, then I can definitely have a cake for dinner. Like, it's like you're just like ins and outs. Like, it makes sense. I personally have a theory that every job someone could do is you're doing a thing and then sharing it with other people. That's literally every job. You're an accountant, you do money numbers for someone else's account. Like, you're an artist, you make art and then you share it. Like, what's the point if you're not contributing, if you're not making something and then sharing it, then you're not really part of society.
Mm-hmm. I think work, like when I was younger, I hated the idea of work. I don't know why. I still, like, part of me does, but now I think work is the entire point of life. Like, work and challenge and, like, doing hard things feels good, and being comfortable and doing nothing feels better. Yeah, I see it now.
Young and selfish.
That's capitalism.
Maybe
right
one day
there.
No, the point of life is to procreate and make your seed
out into the world.
Continue.
Do you want to have kids?
I kind of think.
Not necessarily, but I just think that is by definition
I think that's how we're
the
programmed,
point of life.
definitely.
Yeah.
Like, that is what life is about procreation and having successful babies that then procreate.
As many as possible.
Yeah, as many as possible. Now, so that I think that's the issue, is it's like people talk about like artificial selection, but it's also like we've as humans kind of artificialized our life as a whole. So now our life means more than what life is supposed to mean, if that makes sense. Like, we've added a whole bunch of extra stuff.
Yeah.
Because we have things like morality and things, when what it's supposed to be is like, we're all supposed to be killing each other so that, like, one of us can have a baby with you. Like, that's what's supposed to be. Like, we were supposed to come in this room.
Fighting for
we were supposed to lock the door in here, and only, like, one of us gets out with you, and then our, like, baby is supposed to do the same thing in 20 years. You know what I mean? Like,
14.
They've done studies and simulations. According to simulations, we're better off if we work together. Like, some competition will happen inevitably, but like, we function better if we work together than if we don't. So what should really happen is you guys all
civilization.
We should all work together to gangbang you, and then whoever's seed is the strongest will inevitably win.
That works too. Either way, it's about sex and getting your seed out there. I mean, but no.
We could mix it in a cup together. The strongest.
Did you guys? I mean, that's a whole. That reminds me of like an old web comic, but there's like a whole thing. But that just reminds me of cats. Did you guys know that you might know this or not? a female cat in one litter of kittens, the kittens can belong to different fathers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
I didn't know that.
a mother cat can like get it on with a bunch of like boy cats, and then she can be gray and have like a black kitten and a white kitten and an orange kitten and like a stripy kitten and like a polka dot kitten. Like, it's crazy.
Oh, I should have believed my ex-girlfriend.
No, I grew up with twins who one got to go to like the best high school in the city, and then the other one did not get to go to the best high school in the city. And I worked summer jobs caddying with the not one who got to go to the best one, and he was so silly. He thought that he was similar to a cat. His baby daddy that existed wherever his dad was different than his father, who was raising him in a loving 2-parent home, and that he wasn't Jewish because his dad was secretly Puerto Rican, so he could be, instead of a full Jewish boy from Albany Park, a half Puerto Rican rapper from Albany Park.
Oh, he was a rapper. This makes sense.
Of course
now.
he was a rapper.
That adds up.
And now he's like doing things in like Peoria. And like Peoria is a
Peoria.
horrible city, but you know, he's doing shit out
Is he
there.
the king of Peoria
I
now?
freaking
him.
love
He gets like
Peoria.
he'll book
It's-
gigs where I'm like, he's probably
What's his name? Can we
Is
look
he a
him up?
rapper?
he's Sam Mickelson, but I don't know his rapper name.
Oh,
Oh,
Sam.
I hope it's something
But it's
like
also-
Sam Goldstein. Like, I hope he leaned into the Jewishness with the name, but then
Nah.
avoided
I don't
it
need to
with
shit
the...
on him too hard, but he's a good kid. Well, no, he's not. He was a wild card though. This
How
guy
long
was
has
like
he
he was like 15, hooking up with like 40-year-old moms and like crazy stuff like that.
That's such a
badass.
bold move.
Oh,
Be
dude,
like,
it was
your
like
mom,
some
I already
wild
fucked
shit.
her.
Yeah, no, I had a friend who in college who told me about like that's how he lost his virginity, was like hooking up with one of our
Friends'
friends'
moms.
mom.
Yeah,
like
that
our
shit's
friend's
so
mom.
wild.
And I was like, what? Like
Like,
our friend's
people-
mom? I was like, him? And he was like, yeah, him. Like, it was one of the dudes we were with.
I actually don't know.
It was
I mean, let's
crazy,
see. I can
dude.
probably
It was
find it.
crazy.
Yeah, look this guy. Oh, is this him?
Nah, I think this guy's way worse. But I mean, Sam Mickelson
That was
is
pretty
like,
decent.
like that guy looked like younger and cooler. And
Why?
Like, it was more about just like, he was like, my art is taking
he's
photos
not-
of myself with Gatorade.
This guy's not going to be good at his presence.
Why did one of them go to the best college or the best high school and the other one not? Did it?
I don't know.
test
That's
scores?
a nature versus nurture.
It
No,
was
one
the
was
cat thing.
literally
One was black and one was white. So.
he was 14 thinking that, but no, I mean it really just was that.
Wait, he thought
like-
that he didn't get into the good school because he was half Puerto Rican? Was that like his excuse for not getting in?
I don't know what his excuse for not going to that
okay,
school was.
okay.
His twin brother was good. Sam, not Samuel, is his rapper name.
Sam, not Samuel.
I feel that.
That's
I'm
pretty
sure he
good.
probably has a SoundCloud. Maybe
I mean,
it's
like,
good.
dude's.
Play a
I'm not
song.
here to hate on the guy. He's been pushing his art.
Yeah,
for
good
a
for
while.
him, man.
But he was a
We're not here to
wild
hate
card.
on him either.
He
Let's
was like,
listen
he
to
was
it and then
fascinated.
decide.
Oh, whoa.
He's got
Oh
1,000 views.
shit!
Hold
That's
on,
some
this is
production quality.
A guy with a gimbal and a
dog
dog.
already.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't.
Oh,
I do understand why he thinks he might be Puerto Rican.
No, but he would like lean into it and shit. He had this like hook. He was like 15 with this hook, but it was like pushing that snow, pushing that blow. I was like, that's pretty catchy.
Maybe he's gonna pop off.
Dude, I'm kind of impressed with this video. You know what? But like, this is exactly what I mean. Like, he went
the
to
editing,
Peoria.
The cuts are a little bit much.
yeah.
He went to Peoria. He got this same
Let's
stock
really
footage.
film school
got
up
his
this
friend- yeah, I know.
video. Come on, all the.
It's like the Peoria hang spot, the smoke spot.
Yeah,
there.
they're just smoking blunts.
It
in front
really
of
looks like a
Subarus.
shitty town. There's like the one housing project in the deep distance.
So was this shot in Peoria?
One of those.
Because I went to school in Peoria, so I was there for a few years.
Was that his album? I hope they're rolling it on a different album. They're rolling that joint on a CD case, and it's just a different.
Kenny Loggins.
Yeah, it's Kenny Loggins. It's just like.
Dude, yeah, that was wild.
So speaking of SoundCloud rappers, what's your guys' favorite part about being alive? If you had to pick one,
SoundCloud rappers.
Yeah,
I know what
totally.
yours is.
SoundCloud rappers.
Yeah.
I bought a CD off of a guy outside of a McDonald's a few weeks ago who's a SoundCloud rapper.
Throwback.
I know.
Did it have tracks on it?
It did. We actually listened to it on one of the other podcasts. It was just he raps over like really popular beats. So it was the I Got 5 on it beat, and it honestly for a guy selling an album outside of a McDonald's was pretty good. Like he's actually a
I've had a
talented
couple
rapper.
of those. I always take them because it's free.
If
No,
it's
I
free,
paid
I take
for it.
them. But
I
if you
take it
pay
if
for
it's
them, I think
free.
it's a hoax. So I feel like that's my stance. Because if it's
That's how
it's
I
the
am,
hustle
too.
of there's not
Yeah.
going to be shit on the CD.
So
but if
that's
it's free, I'll
exactly
take
how-
it.
If it's
sure.
free, I take it. If it's not, I never buy it. But yeah, I have a bunch of free ones actually, or I used to, and I used to listen to them all the time. They were mostly shitty, but like every once in a while there'd be one song that you were like, Nice.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I wish I could
paid
like reach
$10
out to the guy and be like, "Hey, track 5, do more of those."
It's kind of like trash picking, right? It's like, oh, this is all this junk, but there's this one.
Yeah, it's like
this
thrift
chair
shopping.
isn't broken yet.
That's
Well, you just hope. I think it's still, which is cool, is just buying into the hope that 10 years. I'll take it. It's free, but 10 years from now, he could be like the big rapper.
Yeah,
And then
it's
you're like,
similar
God, the
to
original
like
EP.
actually, it's similar to like with thrifting, like that idea of like finding something, like you said, like trash. But it's also, I was reading Invisible Committee. If it's
I don't read.
It's just this sci-fi book by a Russian dude from a long time ago. It doesn't really matter. But in it, he talks about like in the future, everything's so easy that one of their like sources of entertainment is just like standing in lines. Because like there's no wait for anything because you can teleport everywhere and all this shit. So it's just like some of the clubs they go to are literally just like lines to stand in other lines.
Wow.
And I was talking to someone about that, and I was like, that's kind of like we're starting on that path. Like with thrifting and with like a lot of those ideas of just like we're so bored with getting whatever we want whenever we can that now we're like, oh, maybe I should like buy vinyl and
make it harder.
Oh, that's so true.
Make my life harder because it's just so easy to be alive.
Like pour
so that's
over
my
coffee.
favorite part of being alive.
The challenges.
That
the
it's easy.
You're still loving the easy
I love
part.
that it's easy.
Nice.
Nah,
It
that's
is
not it.
weirdly easy.
It's
right?
super.
And
dude.
if you do gamify it, it is a fun way to like, I think, challenge.
I have to gamify. I get
yeah.
so bored if things aren't challenging.
See,
But
no,
I
I'm
think
okay
it's
with
that.
that.
I think that is a toxic self. I mean, I do it too to some extent, but I do not think
And I
what
can
you
tell you
said
from
was
my
a healthy.
Yeah, from
was a
working with
healthy-
him, I know that if you're doing the same thing he does, sometimes it's not out there.
But I do it in like a healthy way. Like I went swimming in Lake Michigan for my birthday, and it was like freezing cold, and it was like brutal, pure pain. But you feel good afterwards because you're like, oh, I go through an amount of pain.
But that's cool.
I mean, yeah, that's
a cool thing you
nice.
did.
That's cool.
But that's probably like the waiting in line thing. If you told people like 3,000 years ago that people would go jogging for fun,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's the
it's
same.
totally-
They'd be like, oh, what?
Exactly.
They go jogging for
That's
fun?
what
I
I
mean,
thought
even
it was
50
so
years ago,
interesting.
like that Anchorman joke, it's just jogging. Run for extended period of time. Yeah.
That's good.
But no, it's crazy. I do think like a whole class of people where it's like we're broke, but we have time, on our hands.
That's the thing. We have a lot of time. I don't think we have like as much money. We don't. Well, it's because we don't have as much of the resource pie, each of us individually, because
Yes.
there's just so many more of us to divide the resources amongst. So we just don't have enough of the same amount of pie. But it's so much easier to get like our pieces of the
Yeah.
pie.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
also
like you can
that,
make
really.
like you can make any social media account for free. You can have a zillion of them, but you're not going to have like a bunch of followers. You're not going to have a bunch of success. Like it's theoretically easy, but then you get into it and you're like, there's just not enough people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird hustle. It's an adventure. It is an
Yeah.
adventure.
It's strange how good our quality of life is, even though we're poor.
Exactly.
Like you can.
I 100% agree.
That's what. Yeah, that's exactly what I
It
mean.
blows my mind, like how little I've spent the past 6 months. I've been to like half the country, and
Yeah.
I've spent very little, like less than $3,000 to see like half the country.
You'd have to be
I mean, you
rich
travel
before
cheap.
to do
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Well, that's the thing. Like even just like the distance traveled, and it's like you could. I took a road trip down to Texas,
Yeah.
and you could drive to Texas in a day and a half, and it's like,
Yeah.
that's an adventure. And like Mark Twain's entire books are like about trips that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lifetime. It's
Books.
years.
Yeah, we
And he
can't
would-
even get through one of his
Yeah.
books in the same
Yeah, the
amount of time.
No, yeah, 100%.
So what would you say your favorite part about being alive is?
Mark Twain books.
No, I do think it's like it's the
grind.
it's the adventure.
Okay.
It's the travel / adventure thing, and it's I think it is like, I mean, I don't know if I do sometimes probably try and fall into that hero's journey thing too, where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I try to just take
Create,
it all
yeah.
in and just take it all in and like, oh, this guy's interesting in this way, and try to when I optimistically see the best out of it. But it's fun. It's fun to like wander the world and see what's up.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I think it's I've been thinking about it the last couple minutes. I think it's just the unexpected moments
Okay.
are so fun.
Surprises.
So like I was mostly thinking of like when you're at Aldi and the couple behind you didn't bring their bags and they don't want to buy more bags. We've all been there. You walk into Aldi with one quarter, you leave with a different one. It's a whole thing. But I'm like, yeah, and then I can give them some of my extra bags because I have a bunch of them, and they're just like, thank you, and that's like a nice little thing.
Okay.
And then I was also thinking of like years ago when I went to the
That was so sweet. By
Yeah?
the way, I'm so like thrown off by how sweet that was because like I didn't know you were gonna be here, so I was prepared for like a room of comedians, and then you had like a genuinely nice thing, and I was like having to recover a little bit.
We got to bring some wholesomeness.
I know.
in.
That's
Like,
me. I mean, you're like,
genuinely
so Sam,
sweet.
do you do drugs? No.
I was like, oh, that's not what I expected.
Yeah, no, I'm an animator, so I do like that could mean literally anything. There are a lot of assholes out there who are animators, but
Octopus.
like I freaking love. That's my favorite animal. They're so hard to animate, though. That's the crux.
And
Anyway,
they've just been tainted in animation for
they have been, and
Forever.
it sucks. And it's just like, oh, they're sexual, hentai. And I'm like, well, yeah, but like, tentacle hentai isn't even the best hentai. So like, it's not
What
even
is the
that
best
good.
hentai?
What is?
There's like
blurry
the one
ones.
I
Or they blur it all.
appreciate hentai because there's like a story, and I like
And she's an
Do you think they
animator.
animate
So
the
whole
penis
time
and then
she's
blur
just
it, or do they
taking
just get
notes.
lazy? I'd just be lazy and just
the
blur that
blurred
part.
ones. I'm like,
I
well,
wouldn't
why are we
animate
even
that
here
part.
if you're gonna blur it, pixelate it, right?
I like to
But,
imagine you just
so-
like taking notes on it, like, oh, I really like the way they did the lighting in this.
Well, I like the ones that are just like a slice of life anime, but they're sex. Like that's literally it. Like that. I like that. I think that's the best because it's just like it's sweet. It's like immersive because it's like this could almost happen. It's not as dumb as, oh no, we're step siblings and one of
Big
us
Brother,
got stuck.
yeah.
Like that's so overplayed. Like there's no.
Okay,
I mean,
that
obviously,
happens.
I'm not gonna. I've been told not to expect much from porn, but can't we though? Like
Yeah, at this
the
point we
resources
should.
are there.
Yeah.
Like I would love to see like a blockbuster movie but with sex in it, like just for fun.
I think
because
America
we
is ready.
can.
I think
We
we're
are.
getting
Full
that
penetration.
way, man. When you see it, I think with like the production value, I think we're gonna start demanding. I agree with you. As a people, we need to start demanding more from brazzers and stuff. It's like, man, you guys got the money. Like the camera looks great. The audio's great. I don't know how you get good audio in a porn. That's got to be hard.
They just got to work on.
James is like, I could do it.
You
gotta be
got to
difficult.
work on just the writing and the directing. You just got to
Pretty
get
easy.
someone who like.
Yeah,
but it's
hire
so weird.
one
It's
writer.
because it's like people who direct are so like. I feel like a lot of people who write and direct movies are so snooty. They're just like, oh, it has to be a certain vision. It's like, why not mess around and have fun? Like.
I'm Mr. Penis Hands, the most famous porn director.
There's
film.
There's this character
I like
from
the
oh
idea
my
of
god.
like a snooty who's like twisting his mustache. That's very yeah.
And then who's also not about story. Who's just like, we need Gonzo. Right to it.
A new couple every minute.
But yeah, the other thing I was gonna say, the other unexpected moment I had that was in my head was I went to I think it was a craft store like Michael's or Joanne Fabrics or something, and there was like a mother goose, which mother goose sounds sweet, but if you've met geese, you know,
They're assholes.
you know,
They're shitty.
there's like a goose nest like right there, and it's just like, oh, am I gonna die today? Like this is kind of exciting. So just like throwing that kind of thing, and so just unexpected.
Seeing a goose?
things.
Wait, that was it?
no, the mother
Sweet.
goose
I'm thinking
with
you're
her
gonna-
babies is right by the exit. You don't know if she's gonna like
Okay.
gnaw your foot off when you
Okay,
leave
yeah.
the building. It's like, oh, they're cute in the window. Oh shit, I have to walk right past there. She's gonna honk at me like someone stuck in traffic. It's gonna be terrifying.
Okay.
But
My
Keep
favorite
it.
moments, like in a weird way, are like really challenging, traumatic moments.
Sometimes it can be.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
I was at work
Geese.
one like last year, and there was a car accident outside, and like my first instinct was run right towards the car accident, and then I got a guy out from the car, and it was like smoking and on fire, and it still is like top 5 moments.
I
of my
know
life.
that was top
Wow.
5 because you told me that story like I think like the day after it happened or
Yeah.
something, and you were like shaking.
Yeah.
And I've heard it from you like 3 different times, like on stage or other things, and you're always like back in adrenaline.
so much
He's like,
fun.
I was like, when he first told me, I was really worried he was gonna start doing like the night stuff. What was that movie where he like causes all the car accidents, the Night Stalker or whatever? I was worried he was gonna start like causing accidents to be a savior or something. It's like this guy.
Yeah, I have a savior complex. So pretty much whenever my savior complex gets triggered,
Oh,
I'm
so
like,
it's just all about your ego again.
It is.
Yeah.
My ego is my favorite part. Being alive.
My favorite part about me is my ego.
Yeah, my favorite part about life, even though it's like super corny, is like laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's like corny as a comedian, but laughing and not necessarily. And I have
Coming.
And and coming. No, but I always have this like debate between whether it's do I like laughing more or do I like making other people laugh? And I recently decided it is 100% I like laughing more. It's more for me, like everything I've noticed, especially recently, like in comedy or anything I do, it's like mostly about making myself laugh.
Yeah.
And that like I definitely love it if other people are in, but like
First and foremost,
I gotta get my rocks off, and then like we can. I'm a very selfish lover.
I feel you.
Are you in the bedroom as well?
No.
See,
No.
you switch it up there. That's good.
No, I'm not a selfish lover. I'm a virgin.
Oh. Well, you know what?
No, I'm
Save
not
it
a
for a
virgin.
good. Yeah, okay. You're like hentai porn is the only thing I do.
Yeah, hentai porn.
My
is
girlfriend is a pillow. I
Yeah.
like.
I wish I had a pillow. I need a.
They make some good ones now. Don't if you get a pillow with like a cute anime girl on it, just spend the extra $100. Get a nice one. You know, you deserve it.
That's a good point. It's like there's certain things that, nice.
Yeah, those look at that one. It's just
Exactly.
tits. It's just a big pair of tits.
They make mouse pads of like
Walmart.
anime
I
boobs
like
and
that
butts.
Just laying there.
Those are Walmart.
And we were just laying there.
I like how they have nipples, dude.
Oh my god!
I know
had no
what to get my
idea.
girlfriend for her birthday now.
Big.
I mean, is it bad?
the
that
surgery
they,
needs to be this big.
They look comfortable though. Like
You like talk shit on her boob job. You're like, it wasn't big enough. This is what I was looking for, baby.
I'm having sex with her, but I'm just squeezing the pillow instead.
Yeah, you like put it on her face, and you're just.
$80.
That's a good deal.
How many,
$80, yeah.
How many times before you gotta?
get one that has like get one that's
You
like
get 80
dual sided if you can.
Yeah.
$1 a pop.
good
Yeah,
question.
dual size, you get twice the.
Oh my
Look
god!
at that one eye open. And the other one's a sad
Right in the
one.
eye.
show.
Right in the
Have
eye.
you guys seen that show?
Yeah,
it's a
Haikyuu, right?
volleyball show.
Yeah, it is.
They're just a volleyball team.
Yeah,
Is there
that's
anything, like-
Anime
basically
is
it.
so fucking weird, dude. There's another anime I saw where it's
So
just,
weird. It's like volleyball. Like
Yeah,
what?
I just saw this other anime that's great. I
God,
would get that.
I know all these
That's
characters.
Hisoka, dude. That's Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter.
He's a pedophile.
Yeah,
It's-
but he's also like
well,
the best. He's not a pedophile. He's a
He's
saint.
not, but like he acts like one. He goes,
Yeah, he,
I
like,
could fight this
he's the
child.
only character I've ever seen like legitimately get off from fighting. Like he
Children
actively
fighting children on an island.
Dude. It's really bad.
Look
is
at the
all-
dick room.
And
Look
this
at
one,
the dick room.
Doing it for me.
I
I'm gonna
couldn't
be
get.
honest.
This is from Seven
Doing
Deadly
it for me.
Sins. I know all these.
Look
God.
at that. Yeah, that second, the right, the pelvic like position, like
Oh,
where
dude,
his
he's
dick
the
should
best.
be is
It's
not
nothing.
there.
There's nothing there. It's
He's a
just smooth.
vampire, guys.
Okay,
It's
which
chill.
one? Okay, we all know Naruto.
He's
like
too
this is
thick.
basic.
They're all doing the
Kakashi.
D'Angelo like pelvic tease.
Yeah, dude.
Kakashi
you
has
can't
strong
beat
dilf
D'Angelo's.
vibes.
Wait, check the reviews.
I love
check
that
what
rep-
the reviews
Yeah,
are
Wait,
like.
wait. Screw all of this.
1
Let's
5-star
do
rating.
D'Angelo real quick. With his
Oh.
5-star. Yeah, it's just like one
5-star.
review.
No reviews. God damn it! I want to
Well,
see.
now
what
we
the
have to
people
buy
are
one
saying.
and
Yeah.
leave a review.
Maybe that's what I'll start
find a
doing.
review. Hang
Yeah,
on.
I can start
Oh, it's only
posting
$30. Wow.
YouTube content reviews of
Oh.
different anime body pillows.
Dude, you should.
And you should like give them away at the end of the episode or something.
Like and subscribe
Dude,
for your chance to win.
I would
If you
do-
pay
I
for
would-
shipping, you can
yeah.
have it. Like I don't need 100 body pillows.
Oh, there's 1-star reviews on this one. Please
Oh,
tell me
no.
that they left some.
It's a 2-star.
Oh, man.
Sort of, not horrible. Not 1-star bad. But
They were like, but
There we
I,
go.
I could only get it
Oh.
20 pops.
Perfect. Thank you. So
Honestly,
much
way
cheaper
cheap-
than all the other ones I found and way better made. Good.
That's good. Yeah.
Very nice quality. Honestly, way cheaper to do. Who the fuck is buying a shitload of body? Oh,
Abby,
Abby,
There's
what's up,
a
Abby?
big market.
Oh,
so
Abby.
Well,
many.
let's not stock them.
no, that's
She
if they're
posted
hot.
this
This is
about
public
it.
information.
Hot
We're
chicks.
allowed to do this.
I guess, but like,
Yeah, it is
If you're
true.
gonna review a fucking body
Yeah.
pillow with your name on it, I'm gonna click you, bro.
no, you're right.
Yeah, an anime body
Wait,
pillow.
scroll down.
I love that it's multiple pillows.
What, she
She's
said something
reviewing.
about 70, 80 pound. Both of my 70 to 80 pound.
GSPS.
And I love that in this day and age, that's who we're going
Pet
for.
bet.
Is
yeah,
we're like, if you're gonna fucking,
Oh no, that's something else.
Oh, it's a cooling elevated pet bed.
if you're gonna fucking comment on body pillows, I'm coming for you.
But she has like multiple
This
reviews.
is who we have to take down,
She
guys.
just loves pillows, dude. She's ordered all kinds of pillows.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
That sounds like
a
I
comfy
it.
bed.
Good. I
Killing
like
it.
mine.
I love the MySpace picture.
Dude,
I know, right? I didn't realize Amazon had profiles that extensive.
Oh yeah, you can really learn a
People
lot.
go hard,
I'm
dude.
fascinated.
Dude, she's got a lot of pillows. I would trust her opinion on these pillows, man.
Yeah.
She
So
said
this
it was
is-
a good quality pillow. That was my one issue with buying this pillow. Now I'm in.
$80, man. That's how much more than.
Believe in Abby.
I mean,
and
that's a
her.
$25 pillow.
All
That's
right,
how much
let's
a
look at
pillow is
what
going
some
to
of
cost.
the dudes are saying.
Oh my god, that tease on
Do
the
I
right.
know that character? I don't think I do.
She's from, I believe, she's in one of the Fates.
Okay, that makes sense.
Fuck yeah!
Oh,
I love
is
this. It's my waifu favorite anime character. We also saw Naruto. Good. Thanks,
Weebs.
Carlo. What's going on with
Weebs.
Carlo?
That's his one
Just one.
review. That's the one time he was like, I'm
I
coming.
was
got
like,
it.
wow, it must be a really good pillow, dude. He committed.
Need more info, Carlos. Oh, weebs. I was about to say, just, y'all just down bad. Fuck off, Caleb.
Do you guys want to
Hater.
know where the most wholesome comments are on a product?
No, I
Where?
want 30.
Vibrators.
On that
Oh,
would
that would be
actually
great, right?
that's a close second actually.
I
They're
bet
really
because
cute.
dudes are too insecure to
The-
like straight dudes are insecure about like dildos, a vibrator. Like that is like
they ever?
it's our replace. We're getting replaced in the workforce. You know?
not
No,
me.
it's more like
Yeah.
a team
I'm
effort.
pro.
Finish the
I'm
job.
pro. Yeah, I love them. I
Against them.
I would have them in my own drawer if it wasn't a creepy thing to break out on a chick, like on a one night, like if I bring a chick home,
It's like
I've
covered
just,
in dust.
I,
Like,
yeah, I
nice used in
can't-
Indiana.
No, like I just can't break out like be like, yeah, this
Here, you have to
Yeah, yeah,
have
yeah.
the
it has
plastic.
to be theirs.
You have to have a brand new one every time.
Exactly. If you just
Have like a
save the
wrap.
Exactly, it
plastic
has to be
shell.
And you just put it back in.
Just save
And
this
tape it,
plastic
just
shell.
tape it
not
up.
even wash
Yep.
it. Just be like, it comes like this. That's the smell. It's for authenticity purposes.
You smell that?
UTS.
Nobody have sex with this man.
Oh, they're not.
No,
Don't
they're
worry.
What was the wholesome reviews?
no. So the wholesome reviews are if you go to the it's the Pokemon Center, like the
No.
No. They're
I wanna see this.
specifically like it's Ditto as Trubbish. They have a whole line of plushies where Ditto is like
So people are
being
fucking
another
these?
Pokemon. They're not. It's literally a line of comments of people saying he's a good boy and I'm very proud of him. And I just like what that's that. I have
People are
that
fucking these
plushie
pillows.
and it's so cute.
Don't act like
Yeah,
that.
somebody's fucking that.
Someone's fucking that.
Fuck. I hate to ruin this. This is why you don't come on a
A
show.
good boy.
57 reviews.
This is why
Someone's
you
fucking.
can't come on a show with
Read
comments. We're
I'm
gonna
not
ruin
saying any of
everything you
that.
love.
He's so small but adorable, standing up on his own.
He's
Shaped
shaped
like
like
a friend.
It must be protected at all
Lovey.
costs.
Soft boy. Lovey.
Lovey.
This plushie is
at him
just
go.
adorable as I hoped it
See how
would be.
dirty their floor is. Yeah, there's stains all over the
Yo,
place.
click on their account. Let's fucking hunt this
Timothy
dude
B.
down.
Verified buyer.
What's up, Tim? Get a fucking go to Menards, get a carpet cleaner.
I got 25 likes.
We're coming for you, Tim.
But yeah, it's just fascinating
A
on the
very
internet.
cool
There's
boy.
like so in the internet, right? There's so much bad, but then there's so much good. What do you guys think about that?
No, 100%.
I think so too. I think there's just like with humanity, always in history. I think there's just a little bit more bad.
I think it's the
Yeah.
other way, but bad just stings so much more.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say scientifically they say like
It stinks so
we
much.
like bad stuff makes us feel like 5 or 10 times
7
worse
times
than
more.
7 times.
5 or 10. You got
Ah,
it.
Got
Right in the
it.
middle.
Yeah, so like I guess a
No,
bird in the
100%
hand is worth
buy that.
7 in the bush. I guess.
7 birds in a bush.
Yeah, a bird in the
They-
hand
they
is worth
travel in
7 dead
flocks.
birds in a bush.
Yeah, there we go.
I think that's
But what size bush?
a big one.
Or a tree or a telephone
near
line.
a tree. We're talking near tree style bush.
A biblical
Look that
bush.
up. Look that up. Near tree style.
How big does
yeah,
a
they're
bush
like-
have to be a tree?
It's like a tall bush or like a
When
really
is a bush
short
a
tree,
tree?
and you're
When
just
is a
like
chair
you
stool?
look at it, you're like,
Yeah,
what
we're-
are you like?
Just semantics for the rest of the podcast.
Okay, so we talked about your favorite part. What's your least favorite part about being alive?
Death. I am terrified of death.
Really?
Death scares
Oh,
me.
I'm terrified
Wow.
of death.
I'm
I am
so ready.
terrified of
I'm
death.
so scared. Dude, what if hell's real? You're fucked.
I've lived.
That's my big thing. That's why, dude, I still, when I go home, I go to church with mama. Because it's like,
No,
it's
I'm
like,
just-
bro, if I'm wrong, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like if God, I mean, if I'm right, I'm fine. Like if God isn't real, it's cool. but like, what if he's just as big of a dick as he sounds like in the Bible?
And
What
it
if
sounds
he is
pretty cool.
like that? Like,
Yeah.
he's like, no, I'm going to melt your eyeballs
You go
because
deaf.
you weren't on your knees kissing my cock and balls every day. Like, I am going to melt your face and fuck your mom. That's my style.
That's weirdly possible, especially if the god of our planet isn't the ultimate god. Like there is the possibility that there is like a creator of our planet, and he is not all important or like all powerful.
Oh, that he's just
Literally
some, like,
forgot that
dweeb
we
in the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Like it's in because
I mean,
He just
an
left us. He's
asteroid
like,
could
oh
take us-
shit,
yeah.
you guys are still doing
This
that?
is like the shitty diorama of the shitty gods, shitty deities. Like a great science
just
fair.
the asshole god who's mean and unforgiving and sends people to hell and tortures them, and
Yeah, what
everybody
if-
else hates that god.
Yeah, what if our existence got like 5th place at a science fair?
But
We're just
we could create life
This is
and
good
be
for
a
fifth place.
bad god. So we could create human-like organisms and technically be their god and be horrible to them. So what's to
That's
say
what,
that?
that's what
So
having
you've seen
children
Rick and
is for.
Morty. Yeah, there
That's
you
literally
go,
the
yeah.
whole point of having children.
Yep, is being their god.
Like, I read something and somebody was like, if you want to force your ideas onto a child, don't have one. And I was like, what's the fucking point in having a child? The whole thing is forcing my ideas onto another person that has to absorb them and take them into the new world. That's the whole point.
I'm gonna classically
dad.
condition my child.
Me too.
Like I don't think
Pavlov.
that's a bad idea.
With
I don't.
bells and squirt bottles.
My kid's gonna subconsciously love things like books and exercising and meditating because I am going to reward those activities. I don't think that's a bad thing.
You were the
Oh, those
first
things
dad
that
to
you
think
do
of that.
because
No one else has
children
thought
no
of
mirror
one
that.
their
else has
parents.
thought of that
No,
ever.
no, but I don't.
Could it show up books?
No,
And, like education
but nobody.
and food and shelter?
But if you do it and then you give them specific rewards around it, like there's a way to classically condition animals
yeah, but that's
and
gonna
children.
fuck up your kid. Like, remember the kid from whatever Pavlov's baby Henry? They went and found him years later. And he's all like
Fucking
fuck.
wolves.
Yeah, I know. He's
Was
all
he?
Went back to fucking wolves.
he was all like fucked in the head, and when he heard a bell, he would just like piss himself and cry. It was the experiment. Do you guys know about that? It was
So
like
PTSD they gave
Yeah,
this
this
child.
baby,
So maybe
because they,
don't
like-
do that.
I'm gonna do it in a nice way.
yeah, well, they like
Well-
rung a giant bell. They would like bring like soft. He was scared of soft stuff because every time they would bring they would try to make him scared of dogs at first, which was super easy.
Okay, well they were making him scared of something. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do the opposite. I'm just gonna reinforce positively, never negatively.
All right, then your kid's just gonna be weird and weak
Yeah.
in the
No,
soul.
I literally read an article this past week that was talking about like different parenting styles around
Yeah.
the world. One of them, like, it's literally called punish less, praise less, basically. Where like you treat your child like an adult and they'll be fine. Like if you, the thing is,
Oh, I'm
children
gonna
act
do
like
that
children
anyway,
because
yeah.
you treat them like children. If you treat them like they're stupid and can't help themselves, then they're not going to.
Mm-hmm.
So. This in the interview, this one person had like traveled the world, and she like went somewhere where they talked with this person like about how they did it. There's like this older woman who's like raising like a bunch of kids, and there's like this 2-year-old who was like screaming and hitting her, and she just picked up the child and went, no, and then the kid just stops. She's like, we don't do that, and then the kid was just fine.
When I was a kid,
Yeah,
that's
no,
how I wanted to be talked
fucked
to.
up.
No, the kid
Kids weren't
chilled
supposed
out.
to do that.
I think the
shit,
secret
man.
is ASMR. I think it just
Stop it.
Johnny, stop.
Yeah,
pinch him real-
that's what she was doing. You
Right
didn't
in
see
the
it when
thigh.
she picked him up. She was just fucking
Just-
pinching the little shit.
You just tickle the ear. Just don't fight. We don't throw hands in this house.
Yeah, that's not gonna.
No, you gotta teach him to fight and win fights.
Yeah, what are
So
you
treat him
talking
like
about?
a Pokemon.
No, I just like I totally am down with all that stuff, but I'm just saying, man. Like I was teaching this last year, and I was in the schools, and I mean I like it's cool. Like I'm supportive, but they're fucking weirdos. The kids we're making now, guys, with like they're just like so no shame, which is totally cool, but like you need a little bit
Yes.
of shame to like be a human being. Like you need to like know what you're good. Like I had a kid literally bragging to me about his math skills. This kid is so behind. It's
so stupid, kid.
It's like
You're so dumb,
No, it's like
bro.
a real problem. Like
But
but he's like, no, I'm great at math. Like I'm a mathematician. I don't even know why I'm here. And I'm like, dude, you can't like add fractions, and you're in 8th grade. Like you're fucked.
But his
But to be
parents are probably
Yes.
telling him
Well,
you're
I
a
don't know-
genius.
I don't
Yeah.
know what it is. It could be parents. It could be. I'm not trying to like
Machiavellian
blame
kid.
parents. Yeah, whatever.
Just a
I'm just
crazy
saying
kid.
we're making some weird kids.
The
We're just
numbers.
making some weird. And so many of the kids
together.
also try to talk to me like an adult. Like, they really, really adulted up now. And that's also weird. Like, that's just, it's...
You're like, respect me.
Yeah, they like, exactly.
Fear me.
They're like, trying to, like, flex on me and, like... But, like we're going to be pals.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I remember when I was in school, that was not how I treated teachers. I was not like, we're going to be buddies. I didn't know anybody like that.
Well, they're watching people on YouTube who are adults acting like children. I think that's the big difference, because they say like, oh no, my favorite creator is like 27 years old, and he's like, hey guys, how are you doing? Let's play Minecraft. And they're like doing this weird...
They like extend the childhood.
Yeah, so then they're like, no, adults are just children, because they see all of these adults acting like children, playing video games, doing like these weird, creepy things, because they know that their audience is all kids. So then they're pandering to the kids, and then the kids have this view of adulthood as like, oh no, adults don't know anything. They're just as stupid as I am, because the adults are pretending to be stupid.
Onto something there.
Which is true. But we do know a little bit more.
Yeah, we do. But most adults
I know how to add my fucking fractions. Like,
well,
that's
how
for sure.
often do you use that?
Every day, because I teach fractions.
We're not. I don't know how to tell you that we're not all math teachers.
No, I use math. Okay, people always say that shit to me. That is so wrong. I use math every day, and math is so fucking useful. Everybody should learn calculus. Everybody should take math, and I get that not everyone's good at math, and that's hard. I'm sorry. I'm not good at spelling. I can't spell for shit, and it's fine. He knows. He literally almost didn't work with me because I'm that bad at spelling.
It's pretty
amazing.
Pretty silly.
We all need to know math, all right? And so this whole new wave of like we don't need math is infuriating.
I kind of understand that as well, because it's sort of like with the body positivity movement. It's like everyone's beautiful. It's like that can be true, but that like kind of gives people an escape to like, well, then I don't have to shower, I don't have to eat healthy, I don't have to take care of myself,
or to be
and
unhealthy.
It's still beautiful, and it's like you still have value, but you should still like. There are standards, like even like no matter your body type, no matter what you look like, you can still dress up well. Like there are still stages of, I think,
like wear nice clothes and
like I think
brush your teeth and shit.
I think it's just for a long time. I think like what my opinion on like how things change and stuff is we go through extremes, right? Like we go through like we've already been through like everyone has to be skinny and fit and shiny and pretty, whatever, and then now we're at the you could do literally nothing and everyone wants to bang you, and, and if they don't, then they're wrong and canceled. Like and so I think we're just gonna like keep going back and forth like a pinball, just kind of hitting these walls until we sort of find our way in the middle where it's like, okay, like we're chill. We're not going to yell at anyone for how they are. And it's good, hopefully.
I think, with everything, that's how it works. It's like political correctness did the same thing. It used to be all conservatives who were politically correct because they were all about you can't talk about God, you can't curse, you can't do any of that shit. And now it's pendulumed the other way. And that's just what we do because everything is founded on this like two-sided system. Since that's how our politics works, it's how everything works. So we're all very much so an all or nothing society. So everything we do operates off this like pendulum effect.
I think ridicule is actually a good thing. I think we should be able to like be brutal in our feedback to one another, and instead of being like, no, don't give feedback, it's like, no, you teach people how to deal with bad feedback.
Yes.
It's like, no, harden up. Instead of like trying to make the world super comfy, be like, no, teach people how to deal with pain. But the younger generation, and even like my generation growing up, I remember watching Disney Channel, and all of their messaging was like, you can be anything you want to, like, you're perfect just the way you are. I don't, like, in a weird way, I don't think that's the right message, because that's how we get people who are depressed and anxious.
It doesn't help. It's not constructive. It basically says you don't have to put in any effort and things will be fine. And then when they aren't, you break yourself apart, and then that leaves you vulnerable, well, to cults and all kinds of stuff like you could be taken advantage of.
Well, I don't know, man. Some of these kids,
what do you got, James?
These kids are fucking tough, dude.
All right, so at its face, like, you shouldn't be telling adults you can be whatever you want, but you're a fucking kid.
Yeah.
Kids are blank
that's
slates.
exactly what I was about to say.
Kids are always kids. Right?
And you have to encourage kids to find their path, and you can't block paths to make that happen.
Oh, no, for sure, yeah.
So telling them that they can be whatever they want is the most effective way to help them find that path.
Okay.
And fighting that is limiting kids.
No, and I was about to say, I think a lot of people say the whole thing about how kids aren't tough or whatever, but dude, these kids are fucking tough.
I also say
Like,
bullying
these kids
is
are brutal.
fucking tight as hell, and everyone should bully each other.
Dude, and they bully, and don't get me wrong, these kids bully the fuck, and they do like, because they're not allowed to say, like, because they're not allowed to just call each other like pussy and shit like we did when we were kids, they come up with like weird, fucked up, like, like leave Matthew out of the chat. It's like, what? Like, I was with this, working with this kid. Yeah, where it'll be like literally, and this was like a boy, like a young boy with his friends that are boys. And he was like, just leave Matthew out of the chat for like 15 minutes. And then when he comes back in, let's all laugh and then not tell him why.
Yeah, they're psychotic.
I was like, holy fuck. My friends would have never done that.
I have a friend in a friend chat this month who created a fake side chat to have, and then named it the same thing, sent it, and excluded one friend in the chat. Had a few texts go back and forth, screenshotted it, sent it to the main chat to make it look like we had a long-standing chat that we had been excluded from. So we've been doing petty shit our whole lives.
But that's what I mean. That's what
that's
children
like
are doing now. Like small. This kid was in like 3rd grade.
I know, the people are petty.
I was like, holy shit, that's like brilliant. I wouldn't have, in 3rd grade, I didn't have the capacity to be like, how do I like break this person?
The best prank, like, bully thing I pulled was there was like one of those papers where there's like, I'm going to collect at the end of class, so don't write on it. Don't write anything. And this kid who's super out there, weird kid, got picked on a lot. I was like, hey, you got to write your name on your paper. First thing. I was like, here, borrow this pen, write your name on your paper. He did it. And then I was like, I told on him right away. As soon as he wrote it, rose my ass. He wrote on his paper, he said not to do that. And then she's like, what are you doing? She didn't care at all, really, but she was just like, what are you doing? And he just started crying horribly. I felt happy.
How did you face him afterwards?
Oh, I faced him every day. I bullied him way more.
Okay. You were the bully.
But I thought that was like, it wasn't as evil a genius as the group chat stuff, but I didn't have group chats to work with back then.
Well, in my
we didn't
school,
have group chats yet.
Well, like, I'll say this much. Like, my school, I went to a hippie school, which I've told you about. Like, I'm from Colorado, and so I actually kind of grew up on that. I got my bullying from my family. Because my family's like Southern, like kind of good old people, so they just brutalized me. Like, but at school it was all like super supportive. Like, I was actually talking to one of my friends the other day. He came to our senior prank night in like a leotard and a unicorn outfit, and everyone was like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Like it's
sweet,
artsy.
bro. Like high-fived him and shit. Like, that was my whole school. Like, our biggest group was the theater kids. That was like our
theater.
And you say a theater.
That
shows something.
It was marvelous.
Yeah, and they were like the popular kids, and everybody wanted to be like part of the theater group.
Theater.
But a lot of really successful people from that. Me, for one, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
super successful.
Super
Who else?
broke
Who
comedian.
You're on
else
the
came out of
Avery
there?
Hutto show. It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, pretty big deal. No, but seriously, so like it worked, and it's not like all those kids are like fucking pussies who can't take the world. But we're weird. That's all I mean when I say we're making weird kids. We just got to be prepared, because like people are always like, oh, the kids are weird. I'm like, no, man. Like, I'm barely older than them, and they're like aliens to me. They're fucking super weird.
Yeah.
So just be ready for that. They're fine. They're just weird as shit.
I think our culture is about to get so much different.
Yeah.
Because like internet culture, everything is going to be so spread out. It's still pretty centralized right now in like what's cool and what's mainstream. There might not be a mainstream in the future. It might be like thousands of little streams.
There's tons of subgenres already. Like, I can't comment
Like
anything
the body
about.
pillows.
Like, there's that.
Like that's normal. That's a whole community.
That's a huge community. And then there's like
We should
all
go
these
back to those
subgenres of
body
music. No,
This is sick.
it's a whole thing. There's just, I'll never be able to look at those anime characters again the same way.
I like
That's what ruined it for you, not the insane amount of anime porn that pops up anytime.
No, because it's not like
Anytime
I
I look
just
at my
don't
dad's
click on
computer.
it. I'm like, I don't need to know. Like, yep.
Yeah, but you know.
Here we
We
are.
all know.
I mean, obviously,
you know what's happening.
we all
all know
know that
about the
there's
octopus.
like
Look at this
weird
guy.
or
I think he married.
unsettling.
Is that one of those guys that like married his body?
It talks to
pillow?
him. He made a pillow that talks to you.
Is that the kid from Spider-Man?
Dude.
I like how it do it.
I like
just
how
a
he's not
pillowcase.
even really smiling. That he's just like,
like-
I invented this, yes. Not that.
It's not even a body-shaped pillow. It's just
just
a
a
pillow
No,
with a
it's just
pillowcase
they
on it.
printed on
I know.
it.
I want some curves.
Yeah,
Well, they're really
exactly.
long.
Oh,
That's the thing.
that one hurts me.
That's the thing about body
Why is that
pillows,
one?
they're super
That one
long.
hurts you?
Yeah,
really?
it just makes me feel.
Well, they got
Why?
like that
She looks like
foxtail.
she's into it though.
I know.
So,
But
like,
it's the
chains.
cat ears that.
And
I think
pause.
they're wolf ears.
Okay.
Sorry, sorry.
It wasn't the chains.
Nope.
Okay.
I can deal with that.
I think we got to talk about consent.
Yeah,
All right,
you're
you're
right.
allowed to
Right,
fuck a girl
so-
with cat hands, but if she's chained up, you gotta ask.
Okay.
It's a leash.
The thing.
You
Around
gotta
her
ask
wrist.
in general.
The thing is
It has to be an
Meow.
enthusiastic
Oh,
yes.
dude, I would buy it. I would buy
That's
this.
$26.
No.
That's great.
Come on, bro.
Fuck
That's
yeah.
such a
Y'all
good
should,
deal,
you should get
though.
one for this room.
Yeah,
Yeah, whenever you have
Oh
an
my
empty chair,
God.
just put in.
Next time I
Freckles
need to get an
alert.
extra guest if somebody drops out. We'll just put a body pillow of
And you
Danny
need to
DeVito.
put a speaker in there that has like quotes from him,
Yeah,
and then just like,
press
"What do you
it
think,
whenever
Danny?"
need it.
And just smack him. It'll just be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Like,
That's not official. He's not seeing any money off these
No
pillows.
way.
No.
He's not seeing a dime off this.
These are eBay. These are like
eBay.
homemade.
He's not seeing any money on these pillows. That's
feel
where you
like-
draw the line. I can't get that pillow. You think Danny's sitting in any of that money? No way. I'm
I
not
feel like he
supporting that.
wouldn't hate it though.
Kenzie Reed.
John F. Kennedy.
Oh no!
Shit.
Fuck yeah.
That's a good one. Oh, dude, do they have a Nixon?
They have
They
to.
better.
They have.
Customers like this.
Yeah, you're gonna-
Body pillow.
Oh no!
Of course they do, dude. Look at this shit.
Nice.
That's not even a good
That's like
design.
a throw pillow for your couch. That's you.
Yeah, that's not even like
Or
a
like
body
no, like
pillow.
a
That's
pregnancy
like-
pillow. Like when a woman gets pregnant, she needs like support.
Pregnancy pillow.
Like yeah, like the long pillow. That's like basically the shape of a size of a body pillow. Like when your body like it gets all messed up because you're carrying weight.
Ah.
See? Yeah, and you like
That's so. I want one of those.
you put your leg on it. It actually would. I think you're supposed to put a pillow like between your knees, like
Yeah.
when you sleep on your
Yeah,
side,
you
and then
are.
if you're on your back, you're supposed to put it like under
That
your
looks
knees.
sick, dude. I want a pregnancy pillow.
Doesn't it? It's
Probably
like
good for your back.
Women
You
get
know-
all the cool shit, right, guys?
Yeah.
Women have had it too easy for too
well, we
long.
don't invent problems that don't exist.
They don't fuck their pillows. So
Yeah,
they can get a little more
Well,
weird
speak
with
for
it.
yourself.
Yeah, I
Oh yeah,
definitely-
yeah.
They're
He's right.
fucking
They
that
fuck their
pillow.
pillows
People,
way
that's
more.
not a
I
pregnancy
think
pillow.
everyone's
That's a
been
fucking
doing
pillow.
that for all
Oh,
of
dude,
time.
see if there's an
True, true,
electronic pregnancy pillow. I wonder if there's one that
Are there,
like,
wait, do,
vibrates.
yeah,
Oh,
do
of
people,
course
women, are there
there
vibrating
is.
pillows?
There's
gotta
vibrating pregnancy pillows for
There's
sure.
gotta be like
Dude.
Because
Just
don't
'cause you got
pregnant ladies
something-
get like crazy horny a lot too?
Yep.
Bro,
Some-
on the
yeah.
websites I watch, yes.
Vibrating U-shaped full body maternity support. Okay.
Well, the thing is about vibrations as well is like they can also like massage your muscles. So if her back is sore,
I hope the kid just comes out like jelly.
I'm not saying that's the only thing, but just like both.
But no, there's that moment you're in Walgreens and you realize that whole shelf of vibrating objects is for one purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't
It's
know.
all
Massage
for
wands.
Grandmas
There's
and,
no-
and mothers of
Exactly.
four
There's
trying
no,
to get around.
There's
the
no
mess.
other reason that would carry enough sales to like not be for that. No one's just like, oh yeah, this fucking
Vibrating
Hitachi shaped.
stick. Yeah.
No, I read a review on a one that was just like, yeah, we also use it for our muscles, and it's like really good at relieving tension.
I've
I'm
heard
like,
that.
Good for you.
I know like
guys.
a bunch of people with the Hitachi one, and that's what they all tell me. They're like, surprisingly, pretty good for sore aches.
I
I'm
love
like,
that.
I love those. Have you seen the like massaging guns?
Yeah,
that
I
just
get
like
so many answers.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
that you can't use.
Those
for
shits are like
exhibition.
$6.
Yes.
Those things are like $6.
Clean up. Yeah, those things are super expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those though.
I'm
My,
upset. Like the only ASMR I watch is chiropractor videos, like backtracking
Oh,
and shit.
that's got to be good.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Do you have like a specific genre?
Well,
Like
there's like one
subgenre?
guy in South Carolina who's like Italian.
Yeah, baby,
I like him. I like what he's doing. And then there's like an old school Texas guy who like do not as good tricks, but the South Carolina guy's really dominating it. I think his name's like Cipriano or something. I don't know.
He's like number one in the back crack.
He's got a lot of-
game.
Dude, I used to have this sick. Oh, sweet.
Let's see what this guy's
Ooh.
about.
Oh, he's going to the feet first.
Fascinating.
Is this him?
No, the one I love is neck
Oh,
straps.
he's about to crack the shit out of this chick's back, though, dude. you
Backcracking-
guys, if you've been to a
backcracking's the
chiropractor, you know
best.
those pads, dude.
This is the guy too. Like this guy, he always has like some bimbo in his fucking pictures. So like you'll just. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
About
that's
the hot
smart.
girls.
Look at this.
He knows what he's doing.
I'm gonna rub her. And you're gonna go to sleep.
Cracking this college student? Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a little pervy guy. I like the guys who take the old people, like the really broken ones.
And just like fix them. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I love how he's wearing a mask. That's nice. They're both like protective. We're just gonna do a nice professional.
My chiropractor wears a mask when I go.
No, it's like he does the neck strap. I think if you do instead of Italian, just go neck strap. I'm just ethnically focused.
Yeah, don't focus on the race of your chiropractor.
You see him, let me know. This fucking guy, look at this.
Oh wait, that's Thick Neck.
Yeah, let's watch
I think it is this guy. It is this. No, it's not this guy, but it's Thick Neck. Yeah.
Look at
this
how
shit's
big
cool.
that
I've seen this video for sure.
His statue looks so lifelike.
Yeah, he just has to hammer this dude's
That guy. It's that
mask.
guy. It's the one below.
It's such a stupid.
No, it's the
Oh
one.
my
It's that guy for sure.
God.
That's the guy.
That's actually
Yeah, Cipriano.
terrifying.
Hell yeah.
He's not. That's Filipino.
Cipriano. No,
not
he's
Italian.
another guy. Cipriano's the guy I watch.
Oh, this is just another guy from the same studio.
It's a guy. It's a protege of him doing him.
Oh, okay.
He's the master. That's the sensei working.
Gotcha.
Grasshopper works.
Oh, the dude with the beard who looks like he works at a
I know.
beard
He's my guy.
barber
He's
shop.
like a South Carolina. Yeah.
You know those guys
go
that
see-
like you go to a barbershop and they only do
He looks like a
beards?
total tool.
That's what he looks like.
Yeah, look at those bleached, ripped jeans.
But bro, he'll stretch people out like crazy.
I want to see him get his neck fucking pulled.
I want to
bro.
see him stretch somebody out.
It's the black. It's towards the end usually. Yeah. It's
That's how you
Oh
have
my
the climax.
God, I'm too
It's always it's the
I
last
want to
one.
see this, dude.
But it's like I want this so bad.
Look how ready he is.
Dude, do
I
you
do
ever
want
go to
this
the
guy.
chiropractor?
I went to one years ago. They didn't have this.
No, dude, I have I used to have a chiropractor. It was the best. She would like put you sideways on a rock and just take her hand and just fucking like karate chop your neck into place.
Oh, I need that
I love
so
that.
I do so
badly.
good, dude.
I'm so constantly adjusting myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
How
can't.
is that comfortable for your face? It's like, oh,
He looks.
I know, it's
really-
crazy.
That's the most hipster looking
Oh yeah.
pull hard.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna pump you a little bit.
Okay.
It's very sensual.
Oh,
Come on, I want to hear a good one. I want to hear a good crack. Come on, get it.
I thought his
Those are
head was gonna
good.
pop
I
off
want that
his
shit.
body.
I want that so bad.
Those
Oh
are
my
good, dude.
god.
You just know, like how much relief they always feel.
dude, that was a good pick, Donovan.
That was
That's
like-
and that's not even a dude who probably needs to be aligned that bad. I
Because
bet
he probably
you there's
aligns
some, like-
himself all the time.
Yeah, I bet you there's some old people with just like
Wow.
destroyed necks.
It's like twisting bubble wrap.
I watched a Cipriano once where it was this dude who literally like he was just bent forward permanently and he fucking fixed it.
Yeah, I know it's
Yeah.
crazy. You see these shit.
Those
where they,
are the
like,
ones I
they'll
like to
grow
see,
like
too,
2 or
yeah.
3 inches. In
I
these
need that.
videos.
Oh,
Like,
dude,
it's
maybe I
crazy.
need that.
Yeah.
You don't need that.
I need that. You didn't even know I was tall.
Dude, I knew you were tall because I'm hyper aware of these things because of my insecurities.
Gotcha.
I'm also aware of every big penis in the room.
Not me.
I was
Dude,
about to
oh,
go.
man.
No, maybe. Undecided.
Oh man. Speaking of group text, I sent a picture of a cookbook and I was in pajamas and I just wasn't thinking in my pajamas and it clearly exposed my little boner.
You had a boner?
No, it was
While you're
like,
taking the picture, you had a boner
little
with
no,
a
but it was
book.
like the flaccid, pathetic looking.
Or you could just see
You
the
know,
tip.
where,
Yeah, when
where
it,
it points out, and I didn't know. I was taking a picture like of the desk, but it was so clearly visible. And it was so disappointing. My whole group chat roasted me. It was like as small as it could
if
be.
you can see it pointing out, you know it's small.
Oh, it's-
That's
it's
like the thing. Yeah, you
exactly-
don't
it's
want to
like-
see it pointing
it's
out.
literally not where it was so small.
Got no
It
hang.
was so
Yeah,
small.
got
No
no
hang.
Just a little dot.
It was in its worst state.
I'm sure you totally relate to this.
Well, I
When
think
you
even
take a
dating guys,
no-hang pic-
I mean, it's just like you see such
Oh
a
yeah,
range.
dude, that is a question I've always have about
Like
are
women have to
dick
be
pics
used-
really as like much of a problem as it's made out to be?
How did you get
It's
that from what I was
basic-
talking about?
No, not at all.
talking
From
about
what you were
dating guys.
talking
I
about.
mean, you have a woman right here who you can talk to about this stuff.
Well, I just know
exactly.
she's not gonna have anything to say about when your dick is so small it doesn't hang. Like,
I mean, that
Like,
makes
I see that my
sense.
boyfriend
What you got to say about that?
like
I mean, I have a boyfriend, but
Well,
so
you don't want
that's
to call
fair,
out his little
but
dick on the internet, do you?
I'm gonna not talk about it at all because I respect him and he would hate it. But
Exactly.
about your question, about I think in the wrong context, sending a dick pic is sexual harassment.
Totally.
Yeah,
But
most
is
of
it
the
as
time,
prevalent
like-
as people make it seem? Like, is every dude you talk to just like all about sending you pictures of his cock?
Yeah,
and
like
balls?
I'm
unsolicited
not
dick
the kind.
pics?
I've
Yeah,
been
I've
very
never-
careful with online dating. Like literally, my boyfriend's the second person I've ever dated, and the first person was in high school. Like I could not get it, mostly because when guys were interested, I like wasn't, and I would just like be like aggressively push them away. And I was like, why does nobody like me? Hey Sam, want to go out? Never. And it was just like my demon. I'm just like, I'll kill you. Why are you being like? I don't know. I was weirdly about. So I don't have a lot of experience, so it's weird for me to like I can't like
Yeah,
relate
you don't know.
to anything because everyone's like, oh, I have so many exes. I'm like, I have one, and he's kind of a sweetie. Like I kind of want
What kind
to.
of
I
sweethearts?
unfriended him a few years ago, and I kind of want to like refriend him on Facebook because I like want to catch up, but it's kind of awkward, and I'm like, I don't know how to
Dude,
do
just
that.
send him a
but
dick pic from your current boyfriend. That always works. Chicks don't like unsolicited dick pics, but I will tell you a surprising fact about heterosexual men.
They do.
We
yeah.
don't mind them.
We really like them.
Well, I mean, you
If a
see
girl sent me a dick pic,
you see it every
I'd
day
be
though,
like,
right?
whoa.
That's kind of like I feel like it's
Someone
more
sends me a dick
normalized
pic
though.
every day, yes.
they're going
You
in your
guys, like-
DMs on Instagram.
But the culture, like
I
how
have to
men.
get his advice on all mine, so that's why.
No, but like
Yeah.
I'm down if like if like Ryder was like I have anyone else's dick pic, I would watch it, and then if someone else had Ryder's
yeah,
dick
like if
pic,
it was a different dude's dick.
I'd look at it because I think it's funny.
Especially,
Yeah, exactly. 'cause it's
I gotta
funny.
see.
Let me see
But
that
if it's
dick,
the
dude.
dude you're
Sometimes the
looking at,
dudes are
it's a little much.
but like sometimes like there's this one guy, he got a dick pic that went around in high school that went around. It was like, dude, it was fucking hung. I was.
And then he's forever that guy with the big dick. Like it works
Yeah,
out.
but it's like he
also-
did this pose in the picture, and like everyone knows of that
Good
pose.
for
Which is
you.
oh jeez,
But
sorry,
he
man.
earned it.
Playing footsie with you.
Well, I think there's definitely like a huge difference in culture between like men and women, both how we act and how we're treated and how we're portrayed and everything. So it's very different experience. Me personally, I'm like, well, then how would it be like if girls passed around like pictures of themselves? And I'm
They
like,
do.
I'm like,
They
I
do it and we like
I
it.
go to Reddit every day
Here's
for
the
it.
thing. Here's the thing about
I
me.
pay good
So
money for that shit, honestly.
I'm bisexual, and I think this plays. There's this thing called gay panic, where basically you're gay and you're panicking about something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like I've been like. I didn't know I was bisexual until like a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh my God, everything makes sense. And so for me, it would be when I'm a kid and I'm at like a sleepover, and like a girl starts leaning on me and I just start panicking. I'm like, oh my God, like, do I just like, is this okay? Is it like, because I don't know where the line is between like friend and like more than friends stuff, and I'm just like, what do I do? And so for me, it's always been awkward to figure out like where are the lines, what's acceptable, like because for two girls who are straight to exchange like nude pics or something, it's like a friend thing, whereas like if one of them's gay or both of them, then it's like, is that sexual harassment? And it gets in this kind of weird space.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Is
Yeah,
your
dudes, we
boyfriend
don't
like
do that?
like in being bisexual? Does your boyfriend like want you to explore that, or is he like, no, this is monogamous? Or have you guys talked about?
Oh, we've talked about it. We're both like, I mean, if we wanted to have an open relationship, we can like talk about it. Probably not an ongoing thing, but if one of us wanted to like go have like a one night stand or something, we could talk about it. And so we have very good communication in terms of that. And like, we'll both talk about people we're attracted to pretty openly. I'll be like, oh, this character's so hot. He'll be like, yeah. And then we're just, it's good.
Quick thing, those one night stand things always work. It's never
No complication.
It
will ever
never
arise.
complicates the relationship to do the whole. Oh, you want to fuck? No, I'm fine with you fucking some.
I'll stay in.
People are so like, yeah, I'm totally into open relationships. Like, no, I'm into fucking a lot of people, but I don't
know,
want
dude.
her to do that. I am selfish,
my
totally.
God.
I don't
There's
get.
so many scenarios out there where I'm like, whoa, that's progressive.
Good for you. Yeah, where I'm just like, wow, good on you.
I have kind of a funny story. Last fall, he broke up with me. My boyfriend broke up with me for like 4 hours.
Kill him.
So it was.
We
I
should
remember
kill him.
They got a
specifically.
motel right by the house.
God, if I were to kill my ex, how would I? I would have to plan it. Like
Yeah,
honestly.
how would you kill
How
your
would you
ex?
kill your ex?
Well,
Or your
my
current
chief
boyfriend, I guess.
concern would be like I'm gonna plan it strategically. Right? Like
Well, it
I
has
don't
to
want
be
to get
current boyfriend
caught.
also, by the way, not ex. Your
It's
current.
the same guy.
Okay, my
Yeah.
current boyfriend.
Ex
Okay,
slash
how would I
current
kill him?
Yeah,
I
previous
would
ex.
have to. I feel like instead of killing him, I would just want to like torture him because it's so easy because he's so picky about so many things. Like he hates
small torture.
Oh yeah, it would just be like these little things, and I'd pretend that I didn't know, and that would be
like brain
that is
fucking with him.
Like
stuff.
I would do stuff that I know exactly, and I think that's like one of the worst things you can do, especially if you have such an honest, trusting relationship with someone.
Oh my gosh!
To violate that
You're giving me a panic attack right now.
Okay. Funny story.
Brilliant.
Back to the funny.
Flip the script on the men. Gaslight us.
I don't know. I don't know you well enough, I guess, and we're so different that would be kind of hard. I'm like, I grew up
You need
like
the intimacy, and then you can gaslight once you know someone well enough. Yeah.
probably, yeah. I mean,
I
that's
didn't
the
mean
thing.
me. I don't want to get gaslit. I meant your boyfriend.
I mean, you've been sitting here this whole time, and like you've been touching your face this entire time. We've all been staring at it. It's been really awkward. So
Yeah, you
Touching
face
my
touch
face.
her.
I totally just made that up.
Face touching.
Big gaslighting.
Oh, is that what gaslighting? I'm so stupid. I didn't even really know what
It's
it was.
it's basically, from my understanding, it's basically when someone lies to you about something and like makes you think
convinces
something
you
else.
that it's real.
And
Yeah,
then you're
convinces you something
stupid
else
for not
didn't happen.
knowing it. It's like,
And then they make you
don't
feel
get
like
it?
it's your fault for something you literally didn't do.
Yes.
Yeah, do that to him. That'll fuck that dude's
Yep.
head, man.
Avery, you're not tall. You're actually 5'4". This entire time.
That's too much. But if you were like Avery, like at the end of this, if you were like Avery, you were really mean during that entire podcast. Like you were kind of like an asshole, and everybody, like we all like play with it for a little bit of time. But
Actually,
like you
you
gotta
have
work
something
on
in your
yourself.
teeth.
I have just bad teeth, but it's like stuff like that where like because I had that weird psychedelic experience, I have to trust whenever people tell me things, I have to implicitly trust them because I was at a point in my life
Wasn't
where
that the issue with the psychedelic experience? Was that all those people were...
No, but those were strangers. It's like my friends. My friends were giving me good advice, and I was trusting strangers. So I'm like, oh, if you're a friend of mine, like I know that you have my best interest, so you wouldn't lie to me. So I have a fear, and a crazy fear of people gaslighting me because I'm super susceptible to it.
That's
So-
totally fair. I'm super gullible as
Yeah.
well. And so I just assume everyone else is right and I'm wrong. Like I grew up assuming everyone hated me unless they were smiling at me. And
I assume
so-
everybody's talking shit about me.
I'm really easy to get lied to too, and like get tricked. I just like don't care if I get tricked.
That's good.
You know what I mean? Like I just don't like if somebody plays a joke on me and I look like the idiot at the end, I'm just like cool.
Yeah, like you're an asshole.
No, not even. I'm like nice. Like it just doesn't. I don't know. For some reason, it's just never something that's like really gotten to me. Like that kind of thing doesn't get to me. It's more of like when I would much rather people never tell me the truth.
I'm the exact opposite.
I prefer
Interesting.
no truths. I prefer everyone to just be like, yeah, we like you. Because, like, I know, like, I'm pretty aware of what's wrong with me.
So you don't need to know.
So it's like, I don't need you to tell me. Like, I get it and I'm working on it.
So
So
you're
just
like
lie and be like, yeah, you're great.
you're a suburban mom then.
Yeah.
Because like that's
You're
something
like a
I've learned
white
about
wine
the
mom.
suburbs.
I also
is-
drink wine out of my tumbler all day. So
Hell yes. No, it's literally like that's what like at least wealthy suburban areas, I don't know, that I grew up with. I grew up in a really nice area, western suburb of Chicago, and like people are fake AF. They lie about everything to try to like look nice. And I'm like, we're not even I don't even care about my neighbors, but they'll like pretend that everything's fine and just never be real. And I'm like, I actually hate that.
I want brutal honesty.
Yeah.
I don't like, I'm the exact opposite where I don't like when people like, when I'm the butt of a joke, like it's exposure therapy for me where I'm like, I need to get better at that. And that's why I do shit like this where I'm like, oh, I'm going to be embarrassing. I'm going to put everything out there because I need to deal with that. But I love harsh.
pull your dick out.
Well,
If you really
Pull
want
the
to get
dick
there,
out.
let's do it right now.
Pull out the
Pull
dick.
out your
I'm
dick.
not pulling my dick out. I'm gonna get pulled off Facebook.
it's kind of sweet to be vulnerable like that then, because you realize at the end of it, like, it's not as bad as you thought it would be. You're like, oh my god, what
Exactly.
was there to be afraid of? And then you feel better, and then next time it's easier, and maybe you're more
People.
calm.
I used
People
to
are
hate.
what you should be scared of.
Yeah.
Is other people.
Rejection.
Yes.
Rejection,
No, good.
sadness.
That's what we're hardwired to, right? Like we just want to be
Something like
accepted by our peers.
Yeah. I feel like that's a great place to wrap this up. A little emotional tone. I
Nice.
feel like we've had
Oh,
a.
I
Oh, yeah,
brought some
guys got
homemade
jerky.
turkey.
Let's
yeah.
let's
Try
end
his
it by
jerky.
trying some homemade jerky.
I had this the other day. It's really good.
You had this on the table the entire time, and I feel like I
Yeah,
cut you
I
off
stayed on
earlier
a-
when you introduced it.
I stayed at a farm outside
I'll try some jerky.
outside Texas, outside Austin. It was beautiful. They had cows, 20 cows.
Oh.
Some homemade jerky.
I feel weird, like, knowing that, like,
No, these are great. This is great fresh jerky.
I don't know why it feels different when I feel like you could have met the cow. I don't know.
But then it's better. Don't chew into the mic. I guess.
Oh,
we don't need cheese.
They gotta see that. They gotta see the jerky. You
Oh
want a
shit,
piece,
it's
James?
spicy.
Let's get James on this jerky.
Really good though.
But thank you.
You intermittent fasting?
Yeah.
What
Hell
time
yeah.
is it?
What time is it now? 2 o'clock.
Oh, I'm good then.
Yeah. It's always 2 o'clock in Ryder's world. Sorry, Ryder. I love you.
I'm gonna eat some more of this. All right, one last time. Go around.
What'd you think of the jerky?
Good. It's so spicy, but that's more on my end
No.
than like that.
Give me a piece.
Yes, I was.
I'm like so sensitive to spice, but it is really
It
good.
is. Yeah, it's spicy. Very good. I would eat a lot of this.
Fuck.
Damn, I got this is so spicy to me. I was thinking I was pranking you.
He
This is like a
purposely
3
got-
weeks long playing prank.
Yeah.
This is like spicy ass jerky.
This is
Oh,
like
is
the
this a bit?
spiciest
Wait, is it
jerky
that
you can
spicy?
buy.
This is
I'm
a bit?
proud of myself.
It's pretty damn spicy.
Oh, yeah,
I
this is
took-
like
I-
some of the spiciest jerky you
I
can get your
intentionally
hands
took
on.
the non-spicy. I
Really?
put a little on the corner, which I was trying to point to Ryder because I didn't
Oh,
even
that's
get
why.
him a
I
couple
totally
days
just
ago.
ate the spicy.
I
too.
almost
But I've
warned
been
you
eating
too.
not
I was
like-
almost like it's a little bit spicy.
It's not like insane.
It's
like I
not
mean,
that bad actually.
But I was really hoping like
We
it was way
kinda
too
sucked
spicy.
it up.
I
It
was
was way
hoping for
too
more of his-
spicy.
Especially
Tricked
you,
us.
because you're normally animated.
Like I'm not eating. I'm eating.
We should have told
non-spicy.
him because then he would have leaned into the bit.
Can you give me a piece of the non-spicy?
There's none left. I took a very small.
Oh, you know what? No, we're good. We're good now.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's good. It's,
My
got
mouth
a-
is-
it's
I'm
like a
gonna take
nice
a
kick.
spicy.
No.
I mean, sometimes food is spicy, but then it's also really
I'm really
good,
bummed
and
this
then you're
didn't
like,
work out though. Like I expected.
It's pretty spicy though. It rocks me.
I like
I guess
spicy
he's just tough
Bro, it's
I
spicy.
keep
He's
eating
on
it.
crack.
I'm tougher than I thought I was
because
this
he's
is
so
just
tall. His
terrible.
esophagus.
Yeah, burn.
Hey.
I
handles
regret
it.
doing it.
Oh, I'm gonna get crazy heartburn later.
Spicy, man.
Okay. Go around. Let the people know where they can find you.
Donovan Strong O'Donnell at Strong O'Donnell. Are on Comedy Pickup with Ryder Olle.
Yeah, Ryder Olle at Comedy Pickup and at Ryder Olle.
I'm Sam Concklin. You can find me everywhere as at Sam Concklin. That's SamConklin.
All right. Follow the Avery Hutto Show on Facebook, YouTube. Check out People of Comedy. That is our network. Thank you very much. We'll be back.